time to be half alive. Welcome to the wasteland. Welcome to the new paradigm. This land is your land, white man. All the mothers are welcome to try to survive. Welcome to the wasteland. Welcome to the new paradigm. Not every day you see an empire shit the bed and dark. What a time to be half alive. Land of the free, home of the slave. This land was made for you and me. Let's take it to the grave. Let's take it to the grave. We're accelerating and we're running out of time. Need I remind you that you're still half alive? In the wasteland there's no guarantee. No. What a time to be half alive. Right on time, right on time. Yeah. What a time to be half alive. Right on time to be on the wrong side of genocide. Of genocide. Of genocide. Welcome to the wasteland. Welcome to grifter paradise. This land is your land, rich man. Poor motherfuckers gonna kill each other just to survive. Welcome to the wasteland. Welcome to the new paradigm. Not every day you see an empire shit the bed and dark. You believe we let it all go to the what a time to be half alive. Half
We're going to need a vision for the future where humanity succeeds as a species. That is not going to come from a delusion of national purity.
I'd let your elegy begin, but your aura, it has a vicious stench. Eyeliner on a parasite, so ambitious. Mendacious motherfucker, your downfall will be delicious. So fucking nice, so fucking insincere, so fucking obvious. You're just so fucking weird. But you serve your master well. You're a hollow husk, you're an empty shell. You turned your soul into a glory hole.
ground of how much of a shithead Donald Trump is. We can get there. Okay. What I don't understand is how you didn't recognize that in 2016, and how you didn't recognize that in 2020, and how you didn't recognize that in 2024, because Donald Trump hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump hasn't changed at all. Donald Trump has been Donald Trump since he came out of the womb of a woman that was an immigrant to this country. And so what I want to know, though, is that I don't know how we get past this idea that the biggest problem that you have with your personal situation, and how you extrapolate that to the situation of other white kids that are your age, that feel disenfranchised, that feel left out, that feel they don't have a shot at the American dream, is because of black and brown people, because of Mexicans, because of Venezuelans, because of Haitians, it's always other, Nick, with you. It seems to me, and I've listened to a lot of the stuff. It's always them. We need to build a wall. Where's the wall, Nick? He never built the wall. Why'd you vote for him in 2020? Why'd you vote for him in 2024?
I didn't vote for him in 2024.
Okay. My point being is that whenever you identify your problem as being something that is other, that you can point to, that's a minority, that is a group of people, that's the Jews, before, remember, all of us, it was the Irish Catholics who were all committing the crime, who weren't allowed into bars, who weren't allowed into, because you know why? Because they were dirty, poor, non-Europeans. They were Irish. Every time it's wrong. Every time history has proven that to be wrong in the United States of America. Every time. Inclusion has been our greatest strength.
Okay, look, man. Can everybody hear me okay? Am I audible? Because here's the deal. Look, I'm Scottish and Irish descent, and look, we are pretty nasty people. We're like gross as fuck. We just like genetically are pretty fucking gross. Okay. Anyway, hey, welcome. You know who else is also, I believe, of Scottish and Irish descent to some degree? We'll find out if I'm wrong. Bob.
Yes, also of Scandinavian descent.
You're one of those nasty genetic motherfuckers like me. I see.
Yes, the city of Dublin was founded by Vikings, and I have the genetic ability to subsist entirely on potatoes.
Nice. Just like Matt Damon in that movie where he made shit potatoes.
Oh yeah. The Martian. Yeah. Okay. Took me a second.
So yeah, the reason I want to show that clip right there is interesting because look, Nick Fuentes is Nick Fuentes. Everything you think about him already is true. And that hasn't changed. It's probably never going to change. I watched that, or listened to most of it, listened to all of it, watched some of it, that interview, or that whatever the fuck that was, the other day, and it was pretty impressive. It was kind of cool. You got a guy who clearly has an axe to grind, but he also happens to be kind of on the right side of things, and that being Hunter Biden. And then you got a guy who has been flip-flopping a lot lately. He's been, doing a lot of takes, like telling his people to vote for Democrats, and, Trump's not really America first and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, what's going on there, right? Like, because essentially Nick Fuentes doesn't really believe in anything, like fundamentally. I don't even think that he believes in, the bigotry that he espouses as much as he just believes in it gets her the reaction that he wants. And so he'll flirt with like other things. He'll flirt with, wonder how they'll react if I say, actually, Chud the Builder, you went a little too far. You shouldn't have shot that guy. You're made racism kind of cringe, bro. And he'll get reactions to that stuff. He'll get reactions to it. It's like that's what he lives on. His brain was developing in post, late stage puberty, essentially, while he is getting rewarded online for these fucking toxic takes. You know what I mean? So like that's how his brain developed to operate, right? That's fucked up. And then you got on the other side, you got Hunter Biden, whose brain developed, operating a different kind of way. His reward system's also a little weird. It's kind of funny because you can see him crashing out there. Even in that clip, he's just like, well, why'd you do this? Why'd you vote for him now? It's like, hold on, slow down, Hunter, slow down, shit, man. He's like, he's right, he's in the right, but he's going a little too strong. Anyway, what did you think?
I have not watched any of that. So to be frank, I don't care what either of them have to say about anything, generally speaking. So I just did not watch the video.
I do. So I do care what Hunter Biden has to say, because I think that you know, maybe it's not really any practical reason for caring about it, but just there is a you know, I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for the guy.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, he's taken it in stride for the most part. He you know, I mean, he said something pretty cool, pretty profound, I thought. That was like, they dragged him, you know, talking about Trump and stuff. They dragged him and his private, you know, affairs out into the public. It made him like this whipping boy out in public, you know, just out there for people to beat on and curse at and spit on all day long for years. And you know, then they did that, and it's like, then finally, eventually, everybody got tired of doing that, but they gave him a platform. Was the thing he said? They gave him a platform for him to do this stuff, and then whenever everybody stopped spitting on him and went home, he still had a platform. I was like, that's pretty clever, man. Pretty wise to see that.
That's fair. So he's decided to use the platform he didn't ask for, but still has to try and do some good in the world. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, who gave a shit about Hunter Biden before any of that shit? That they did that. This is a monster created. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what he's doing. I mean, you know, you can look at him and Tucker Carlson, and they're slightly more adept at manipulating their easily manipulatable audiences. You know, these are people that you already have a playbook for the exact buzzwords and, you know, pressure points you have to touch on for them to just like be eating out of your hand. But yeah, I guess Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson, I guess they like a challenge maybe more than some of these other ones. And you know, who knows what their real motives are. I don't know. I saw something saying that essentially Tucker's motive is just the same as any of the tech billionaires and stuff, which is to basically position JD Vance to be the guy. You know, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't think it's going to work, because some crazy shit has happened before, but I just don't see it working.
Yeah, like, I'm sure I don't have to tell anyone here to not let Tucker Carlson fool them. He is absolutely going to vote for whoever the Republican nominee is in 2028.
Yeah.
No matter how much he complains about Trump or Vance or anybody else and tries to do his little grift with hopping on the anti-Israel bandwagon, he is fundamentally a right-wing idiot. So he will fall in line behind the Republican nominee, just like the rest of them will.
For anybody that's not aware of what Tucker's pedigree is, he comes from money, like big money.
He comes from isn't it the Hormel fortune?
Is it Hormel or is it Tyson?
It's Tyson. It's it. Tyson Foods. That's it.
So anytime you eat some Tyson chicken nuggets or whatever, just, you know, that's well, Tucker hopefully didn't touch them, but like that's the money he comes from. He's not in any way, shape, or form anybody's ally that is not Tucker Carlson or his immediate family. Maybe not even them.
Okay, now I'm seeing Swanson in the chat. It's one of those. It's a big food.
Right. It is Swanson. Absolutely Swanson. Yes, because I was about to be like, man, I eat a lot of Tyson now. I feel shitty, but no, thankfully we don't eat Swanson. I did talk about one time. I think I told the anecdote of when I was like probably 13 years old. There was a Swanson truck that used to come through my neighborhood, and my stepdad, my stepbrother, they had this fucking scheme where they would just distract the driver, and then we would just steal a bunch of the meat out of the truck. That's the kind of shit
that was money. That was money out of Tucker's pocket right there. So good job,
folks. And it was fucking, you know, really good. We were on food stamps. I mean, we didn't eat very well for a while. So like, yeah. Oh, he did a lot more than touch. No, not Mike Tyson's fortune. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with Tyson's money, dude. Good old family chicken ice. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. Jesus Christ. I'm glad somebody understands. You know, I didn't have a great childhood, to be honest. So moments like that, they really rise above. It's like we bonded, you know, bonded. Okay, so here's the deal with this video thing, the critical drinker thing. You know, it's maybe a little bit hyperbolic in my word choices. I try to tell you guys that whenever I do that, because I don't want to be too scammy. But like, it's barely exaggerated in that. What's exaggerated is it's not a leak. I don't believe it's just a video that's out there.
Yeah, I was going to say nothing else about the title is unfair or untrue.
I mean, yeah, it is the most pointed version of it, but that is exactly true. It is a far right rally. They were honored speakers, and this is a group that targets children. that is Turning Point USA. And it's important, I think, to call them out for being far right, because they've made some headway. I don't think they've made as much as they try to pretend they have, as we watched that report where they discovered there's at least a handful of probably a lot more quote unquote chapters or whatever of Turning Point USA in various schools that don't actually exist. So it's same as it ever was with the right wing grift, is they pretend stuff is happening in order to build up something.
I want to ask a clarifying question. I know you know more about this group's background than I do. The group's technical name, or its official name, is Young America's Foundation. Are they an offshoot of TPUSA or a partner?
Yes,
or
literally that. So following up on, you guys might have seen probably a month or two back, all credits to DJ Eric Debunks for getting this video. I did not know it was out there, so credit to him for that. It's a big good find. However, I was on this case before anybody else because I'd found somehow where Critical Drinker was listed as a speaker at on a Turning Point USA thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe it was actually on Reddit I saw it, but yeah, it kind of blew my mind, and he just is right there. And it's notable because I said this on that stream, Critical Drinker is not young, American, or sober, so this is the guy that you're choosing to be a fucking a scion of a community, or what? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. But I'll pull that up real quick so you can see exactly. Yeah, so Young America's Foundation website, which is a part of part of Turning Point USA's thing. Here it is. Oh, God damn it. Get off screen. Video. There we go. Critical Drinker. So this is a Young America Foundation. And you can donate, and you can give, and you can give or you can donate. Those are two options. That's all you can do. Okay? That's all. That's the only thing they want. You either give them something or you donate something. That's it. Speaker, says speaker there, which I was wondering at the time, has he already spoken at something? What is this speaker role? I'm not sure. Will Jordan was born in, so this is basically his version of events as well, because he talks about how basically that he was a successful author before he was a known YouTuber, which is not true. It's just not true. I did some research. That's one thing I found out not long ago. haven't presented it really in any, maybe I said it in stream during the fucking day-long stream last week, but fact is, you can look at it, look at the record, you can find some rough estimates of what his books sold prior to becoming a YouTuber. And then, they seem to be doing okay after, for sure. But prior to, he was pretty middling in a large genre of just like forgettable slop. And was not doing anything, doing big numbers or anything like that. He, for all intents and purposes, kind of was failing at being an author. Like he wasn't cutting through the pack or anything like that. And his numbers were not great. Then he becomes a Critical Drinker. Then his books start selling better because, he's got an audience that are kind of locked in. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. What is the Young America Foundation about? The conservative movement starts here. Pretty explicitly political. Pretty explicitly about these kids. You know how conservatives love kids, right? Young America's Foundation is the leading organization for young conservatives. More than 60 years of history and contacts on more than 2,000 campuses. We help students like you find support, promote your skills, like literally speaking directly to students. So, yeah. Young Americans Foundation is committed to ensuring that increasing numbers of young Americans understand and are inspired by ideas of individual freedom, a strong rational defense, free enterprise, and traditional values. If you know anything about the stuff that Charlie Kirk would fucking argue about or whatever, what he was literally saying whenever he was, tragically taken from us on that day. Yeah, that's the kind of shit they're trying to push on kids. So Did I lose everybody? Am I still? Hello? Hello? Bob, are you there?
I'm here. For some reason, my mic was muted. I don't know why.
What up, Eric? How's it going, man? I left a comment on your video. I don't know if you saw it, but I was like, if you see us on and you're able, then hop on, man, because you definitely found this one. So this is just TPUSA. I mean, it is TPUSA is what it is. It is TPUSA. It is just an offshoot that is branded a different thing because it's explicitly to groom children. Critical Drinker is part of an organization. He is a guest speaker at an event for an organization that their explicit intention is to groom children into their ideology. The thing that they're always accusing everyone on the left of doing. They're literally, officially, systematically doing this. If only we had a video that showed them doing that, right?
If only.
Well,
surely they would not be so foolish as to leave the evidence lying out in plain sight for everyone to find.
Oh, they would. And don't call me Shirley. But speaking of Charlie Kirk, I do have this update, by the way, for anybody that's not aware of what's been going on with him in the last year or so. Well, this lady's got us informed here.
Business office in heaven. It's called Central Station. I do know Oral Roberts works there, and I do know Billy Joe Daughtry works there, and I do know also right now that that Charlie Kirk works there with Jesus. And what does he do? He gets to shoot arrows of light, which are very dangerous against hell. He gets to shoot arrows of light down into the areas where there's a lot of darkness on this earth, and guess what? It gets crushed. The darkness will be crushed. I was caught up the day that Charlie passed. I've already talked to Erica. She knows that. She knows all about it.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's a cool fate for him that he used to shoot God arrows at hell. So it's like, Bob, you're the Bible guy here. You know more about it than me. What part of the Bible is that?
That's the part that says it's easiest to shoot arrows into hell if you're already in hell.
Got him. And also, I mean, you would think that shooting would maybe be something he'd avoid, though. I mean, maybe the trauma of your death doesn't carry over into the afterlife, but I would assume it maybe does. I'm just going to pretend it does, and I'm going to think
he seems like the kind of guy that would stick his neck out for something like that.
Look, a lot of people like to say that Charlie Kirk was far right, but I mean, honestly, if you there at the end, he kind of leaned to the left.
Back and to the left.
Back and to the left. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So this thing's like 45 minutes apparently. I have not watched more than a couple of minutes of it. Listened to Eric's video on it. I figured rather than steal his content, which would be the easy thing to do, maybe we'll just comment on it ourselves and do our own, have our own
generating
ideas.
Original transformative content. Yes.
Know who she is? Who? Erica Kirk? Oh, this lady. You're talking about this lady. Yeah. I mean, wow. She's the next Erica Kirk for sure. I don't know. I don't trust that. I don't any kind of woman. She's got like pastel colored hair. I don't know. I just don't trust her. She's probably like some kind of feminazi. That's all I'm saying.
She's obviously a social justice warrior.
You know, by the way, I gotta drop this one in here because it's literally a lyric of my song. But you know, there at the end, Charlie Kirk, he couldn't even save a little face. You know. Nope. Got him. At least they're honest. I mean, are you saying we're not? Or I'm be pretty honest. I think this lady's kind of cool, man. I think she's pretty rad, and I'm a fan. Let's see. So actually, I have not downloaded that video yet. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that because I'm gonna need it. I know you have it too, Bob, but I'm gonna grab it. And while that's happening, I'm gonna play this for all you Metallica fans out there. Yeah, that just is Lars. It just is. I'm sorry. That guy had all the Larsisms. He did them all. I don't know if anybody's is familiar with the Larsisms as I am, but like as a Metallica fan from a long time ago, one of the first rock bands I got into, if not the first, I have a very strong love-hate feeling for Lars Ulrich. It's pretty deep. I kind of feel like nobody could do what he's done for Metallica, and also anybody would literally do better at the same time. It's kind of crazy. But he does a lot of snare stuff. It's like dude learned how to play that snare really well, and then just like that's it. That's all I'm learning, you know. And then it's apparently he's coasted to being maybe the most popular and well-known successful rock band in the world on that, which is kind of, you know, look, American dream. You know what I'm saying?
Look, you find something you're good at and you stick to it and become the best at it. And playing the snare drum counts, I guess.
It does, but then you would think that if that's your thing, if your thing is this fucking snare drum, what the fuck explains what they did on goddamn Saint Anger? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? Why would you make your snare sound like that? Don't know. My theory is just too successful, too rich, way too out of touch, and we're just like, I don't know, man. This will be cool if we do this. It'll be like kind of game changer, right? Like, sure, yeah, okay. System of a Down kind of has a junky sounding drum kit, right? Yeah. It's like, but the difference was, well, System of a Down's drummer is good. Anyway, thought it was real Lars. I'm not in the habit of like cataloging all of the musicians that I listen to their positions on Israel. If I happen to learn it, sure, that'll inform me, but like I don't go out of my way generally. And I also don't listen to Metallica very much. So. Not anymore. All right, so this video I'm surprised. This thing's like almost a year old. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So wow. The intro I did listen to, watch some of with Eric's video, and it is quite cringe, quite fucking cringe. The idea that there's a bunch of people that I'm guessing, like Eric says in his video, I guess they all know who he is, Critical Drinker. I'm sure that hardly any of them know who Chris Gore is, and they definitely don't know who Alan is, but he's there for some reason.
Yeah, that's what blew my mind, is like, why are they there? Out of all of, they could they not get nerdrotic? Like,
I guess not.
Why?
I mean, maybe he's a bridge too far. Maybe his past is a bit too far, because you can't have these Christian people showing actual grace and forgiveness for anybody. That's crazy. But like, this does remind me that I do need to pull up that clip we haven't watched in a while, of when Little Movie Perp went and visited Film Threats channel during a live stream. So I'll find that. But so what are your initial thoughts before we get started on this, Bob? What do you think?
Well, nothing in it surprised me. I think Eric only got through about. It seems like he didn't get through very much of it. He may have missed the last 30 minutes or so. So there's a lot in his, despite the length of Eric's video, there's a big chunk of this video that he didn't actually cover. And nothing I've heard so far really surprised me in any way. It's exactly what you'd expect them to say. And because it's not scripted, they're kind of all over the place. And if you're really paying attention to what they say, they keep contradicting themselves without realizing that they're doing it.
I mean, they do that in their videos and stuff. I mean, often not in the same one. And many times they will contradict themselves quite a bit, but it's usually like they'll say something about this movie or whatever, and then another movie they'll say the opposite, because that's their whole thing, is just saying a thing that diminishes the value of the thing. What the hell? Why is my window froze up? I don't know why this is happening to me. Why is my life like this? Literally the window that I used to. Okay, here we go. No, part of it's working, part of it's not. Cool. Weird choice. Thanks, StreamYard. Okay. Let me try this and try this. So the video is called, I guess the event was called, I suppose, Reclaiming Woke Hollywood, live at NCSC 2025. Why would they want to reclaim a woke thing? They want a woke thing? Is that there? I don't know. Confused. Already confused, man. It's too smart for me. The level of ideas is just too high. All right. Butt rock. I hate it. So how's it going? What I do like about this is that the dude comes right out and he's just like, yeah, we're trying to infect everybody with this bullshit that we believe. We're trying to do conservative propaganda. That's what we're all about. And it's like, thanks, man. I mean, at least they're not pretending really that they're doing something. At least at first, I'm sure that Drinker and these guys, I think that pretending that they are some type of high level, high-minded critic is partially necessary for their grift because it sustains their egos, right? I don't know. That's what I feel like. I would definitely have to lie to myself if I got to that level and was like grifting the way that they do. I would have to be like telling myself every day, I'm a real critic. No, people love me for my actual opinions on movies,
Mm-hmm. Yes, Morgan, they did, because it was in a hotel conference room. Where else are they going to put the stage?
Ooh.
Guys, good afternoon.
The thing that just occurred to me is how uncool this is.
Yeah. It's not cool. And it's exactly the kind of thing that they fucking say that we do. And it's like, I don't know, I guess the grifters maybe know better, that they're just projecting, but the audiences actually believe that, like, their ideas come to them through organic, rational means or something. And
I just mean like the aesthetic here is giving hello fellow kids, right?
I mean, it's not even that. I mean, I feel like that's probably what they're thinking they were doing, but it doesn't even come off like that on me. The Price is Right host must be on time. The price is wrong, bitch. All right.
You guys are jazzed. You guys are pumped.
You guys are jazzed.
As well you should be. My name's Larry O'Connor. I'm a board member of the National Journalism Center, which is a project of the Young America's Foundation. You guys want to be journalists?
The National Journalism Foundation. Think about what they're probably about, right? Like if he's out here full throating Turning Point USA.
Yeah.
Yeesh. So
also, did you notice how low the house lights were to hide the fact that the audience is not very big?
No, I didn't. I'm trying to think when. So 10 or 11 months ago was this? Was this before or after?
Before or after what?
No,
I honestly don't.
Our boy took one to the neck.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Interesting, because I mean, I'd be curious. Like, did they have some type of ongoing engagement planned with these guys? Did that not come to fruition or anything like that? Because you know what I mean? Did plans change whenever old boy took one in the neck, or what? Let's ask our neck expert, Morgan.
Hi, am I? Oh, that's my new. Ooh. This guy's neck, not kissable.
Yeah.
Like it's the plane, like right here. You can't kiss that. It doesn't look right. You can't get your head in there. No, very unkissable neck.
Yeah, and I back Jay Kung's comment here. Like, as a follically challenged man myself, I gave up the fight years ago and just shaved my head. I own it.
Oh, this guy? I didn't even notice. So all I notice is whenever they have like a really desperate one, like a fucking Stephen Miller did that one time or whatever. And it's like, yeah.
He's got like fired from the school board energy. And fired for misconduct.
He definitely comes off as like this is a big moment for him. He's journalism foundation for TPUSA, whatever the fuck that is, other than just like how to censor and suppress information you don't want out, I imagine.
Right.
How to propagandize properly.
How to sue to suppress speech while claiming free speech, the organization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's peaking right here. Like this is the highlight of his life, being on stage with a YouTuber who's more famous than him.
Oh my God, yeah.
And and like he another thing that he does, I'll go back to what his job probably is in the journalism thing. I mean, the responsible journalism to these guys is how well you're able to, blame trans people for shit that they're right is obviously doing. That's how, you know what I mean? That's
it's so weird the things they come up with to blame trans people for, and it's just like, where did you even think, oh, you're doing that? That's just like your hobby. Got it. Yeah. Weird.
I mean, literally, like the trans people. There's a mass pew situation with trans people. No, there's not. Nope. Oh, you're telling on yourselves. I see.
You're telling on yourself. Oh, you want to look at people's genitals in the bathroom.
Yep.
Got it.
And you
cool.
also,
you're weird.
It's all mostly white people that are shooting people. I gotcha.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like white cis people, as a matter of fact. Anyway, okay, let's see what he's got to say. I got some really cool intro for these guys. Let's hear them out.
Listen, learn how to do it the right way, and I do mean the right way. Look into the National Journalism
God, he
Center.
worked
It's
that line like he
great
sat in the mirror, like in front of the mirror, trying to give that line like the right way. No, the right way. Like
he's like, I gotta say it just right, or they're not gonna know what I mean. They're not gonna get the double entendre.
He practiced that a lot, and you can tell. It's funny.
And he didn't stop for the laugh or the applause. That should that was obviously a joke, and he should have paused right there. Like, I mean, it's just like, the right way.
This guy knows that if he stops every time he makes people laugh, he's going to be here all night. So
waiting for them to laugh.
Well, it's not the point that they didn't laugh. It's just that that's obviously a joke that was written into his speech, and he doesn't understand comedy enough to know that he's supposed to stop there and give the audience an opportunity to laugh. If the joke actually landed. He just kept going.
This is why they need this is why they only have like 2 jokes, is because any more than that, they don't know it's a joke.
It is officially henceforth racist against white people to name any kid Larry ever again.
Yeah, this guy brings the whole Larry community down. Like, Larry is one of my favorite Pokemon gym leaders.
They're already not doing so well, to be honest.
And he's just bringing them down.
Exposure here in Washington, D.C. I did not start my life as a radio broadcaster or...
YAFCON sounds like some kind of furry thing.
Oh, it does. It really does, yeah. And not one of the fun, like, cool furry things.
Nothing against furs here. We love them, except for the Nazis.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they're Nazi furs. Fuck off.
As a podcaster, as I am right now, or a columnist, I started in the theater business. I was a manager of Broadway theaters and Broadway shows.
So you're like 3 times removed from the thing that you actually wanted to do, and you're just cool.
Well, I mean, and this obviously qualifies him to be a journalist, right? He worked in theater, so obviously that makes him an expert on journalism.
It makes, I mean, no, it doesn't, because he bombed out, right? He's not
what
doing
it makes
that
him,
anymore.
At least in terms of whoever the fuck, Charlie Kirk or whoever hired him's eyes, is a performative necessity in a role that needs someone to perform something.
So what this guy is saying to like take all of his scaffolding away and sort of cut to the root of it. What he is an actor. He's a failed actor.
An actor.
And now he's playing a character. This divorced dad.
Yeah. Yep. All right, we got to get through this because this is we will be here all night if we just.
We will be here all night. Yeah.
And I always like to have a quick conversation with you guys at these YAF conferences by asking really quickly, how many of you have been in drama or theater or music or creative writing or in any way? Look at that. All right. Now, how many of you maintained that interest
too far
in
back.
college?
Too far back.
How many of you want to pursue this as a career? How many of you have parents who told you over my dead body?
Oh, that cameraman's playing loose with the. I mean, realistically, there's maybe like what, 500 people, 600. It's hard to tell.
It's not. I don't think it's
I think
that
that's
many.
pushing it. I would say that's maybe 200 people.
Yeah.
Because you notice the farther back they are, there's fewer and fewer people, which is always true in a venue. But they're making the mistake of showing us how small the crowd actually is.
Well, I mean, they definitely did not learn to not do that if we get judging the goddamn TPUSA halftime show. It's a thing. It's got to be hard as a cameraman because you're like, you need to show that there's people there, and you want to show just the parts of the crowd where it looks like there might be a lot of people there, or at least a decent amount of people. But anything too much out this way or that way, and you blew it, you fucked it all up, and then people move around and stuff. It's like, man, cameraman for this kind of event, it's really gotta work for it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a problem. This has been a really cool conference this week, and you've heard from politicians, elected officials. You got the Secretary of the Treasury last night. I mean,
okay.
If you have to tell everybody this has been really cool, it hasn't been very cool.
That's you got the Secretary of the Treasury.
Yeah, we all know how much kids love the Secretary of the Treasury.
Kids these days, they sure do love the Secretary of the Treasury, and they know what that guy's job is. Uh-huh.
Anyway, let's get to the drinker. He's the star.
Yeah.
Yes, however, first.
Wait, no, can we go back to the Secretary of the Treasury? I would like that more. Anything with the drinker.
Real quick, I just want to say, just want to add this here.
I've got her squirting like Charlie Craig, yeah.
You can't just drop that when I want to take a sip of my tea. You just can't do that to me, Dane.
That is his
transphobia.
These are worldwide figures who move and shape world events on a daily basis. But the conversation we're about to have on this stage, frankly, in my opinion, is more important than all of that. Let me show you why. Roll the tape.
Oh, here we go. Brace for cringe.
Agatha is the gayest Marvel project yet.
You've got to do better, Senator.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Yes. Weird. Power.
I'm gonna be a dad.
Audiences today are sick of seeing their favorite male-led franchises getting taken over by unlikable, arrogant, and infallible feminist power fantasies, usually written by talentless hacks and embittered activists. It genuinely makes me question who this show was even supposed to appeal to. Oh yeah, modern audiences.
This is modern storytelling, where people are the heroes because of their identity, not because of their actions.
Slowly, the three big networks have been moving to become basically the propaganda piece for the Democratic Party.
I definitely had fun playing a particularly challenging game of Spot the White Guy. For example, check out this collection of Jedi Padawans and see...
I can't believe they would show this as like, look how cool this guy is for doing this.
Let me spot. I want to play a rousing game of spot the skin pigmentation on children. Bro, that's weird. Bro, you're weird.
And he's doing the thing that they say we do. They're checking the boxes. He's like, you got to have the requisite number of white boy child, or it's woke and bad.
I have to admit, when I watched this trailer, I didn't notice any of those things.
You mean the trailer for The Acolyte?
I wasn't really paying attention to that. I kind of noticed there was a lack of aliens, because the Star Wars TV shows haven't really had the budget to have a lot of alien characters because the makeup and the prosthetics don't do well on 4K television, I guess, and they're probably expensive. So like they've kind of eaten that out. But like, woof. I'm looking for nerd shit, and you're looking for white kids. That's, bro. Why are you looking for kids? That's weird.
You're not
bro.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's looking for white boy kids specifically.
Right. That's guys. No.
Well, first, I want to understand it's probably a fear response on his part because there was that one incident with the 11-year-old, and I'm sure that was very traumatic for him.
He's afraid of that. That's what he's looking at. Oh, okay.
Yes, he absolutely did not beat that kid up. Did not do it.
And he also, he could have been looking for little girls too, because as we saw recently, he likes writing about those.
That's true. He is a big writing about little girls.
He's speculating on what prepubescent girls are going to look like during and after puberty kind of guy. That kind of guy.
So he's like child genital enthusiast Matt Walsh kind of guy. Oof.
Pretty much. I mean, look. Well, I mean, he didn't say anything about the genitals. We can't say that for sure. We can say that he definitely thinks about the body shape and the voluptuous level of what a not yet in puberty girl is going to look like once she goes through puberty.
He's a child puberty enthusiast.
He seems to fashion himself as sort of an expert on this, that he can speculate about it in a novel like that, and just like, yeah, this is what's going to be. It's kind of weird, a little bit weird.
All right, I guess let's proceed. I'm scared though. Hold me.
God damn it, my shit is fucking okay. Here we go.
If you can identify the one demographic that's mysteriously left out.
It's time to talk about Snow White.
In this version, for boys, the message is one day you will find a woman who will boss you around for the rest of your life.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Snow White abandons its classic ideals of self-sacrifice, heroism, and true love, and injects the lethal dose of...
Here it comes. Wait for it.
The message.
Okay. Does the scare quotes echo on a screen that's just like working together? It's just like, that's your cooperation. What is wrong with you?
Are you not familiar? Are you not familiar with the message graphic that he drops every single time he says that?
Does he drop that every single time he says that?
Yes.
He sure does.
Bro, Drinker, loser to loser, let me tell you something. I know you're a writer. Get another writer.
I was thinking about this because he is a writer in the sense that he can write. Clearly, he had a publisher at one point. I think he does self-publishing now, but like he had a publisher, and so to some degree he's able to write what is generally seen as a narrative in a structure that people recognize as a story, right? And has the hallmarks and elements of I guess a spy action story or whatever. So that's, and I was thinking about that because he clearly has no real creativity, and it kind of underlines the fact that there are elements of the creative process that can be just like learned as a like a skill, just like it's a literal craft, like the same way you can teach some idiot how to work on a car or whatever. And that's why he can make sure that those elements generally are there, that it's got some kind of motivating plot, thing, and then blah blah blah, but otherwise, from what I've seen, it's just trite bullshit that it's been done a million times and is literally doesn't even stand out in its specific subgenre. And he was apparently failing. I'll say that again. He was apparently failing at being a writer before he became a YouTuber.
I would like to say, Philly dude, yes, he can write shit. Shit is all he writes.
That's his specialty.
It's weird that they, we'll talk about projection. It's weird that they have, and I haven't ever seen any of the, well, okay, I've seen obviously the one on the bottom left. Everybody's seen that one. Other than that, I haven't seen any of these freakouts. So they had to kind of.
They really tried, yeah.
For these.
I've seen the one at the top.
How hard would it be to find a freak out from chuds if we wanted to put together a video like this of just chuds?
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's every video they make is them freaked out about something, right? They're the biggest scaredy cats on the internet.
It was going to be a smorgasbord. We'd have everything from the as crash out to to over pronouns to the other as
right, Captain Pronouns. I forgot about him.
Or anything Ryan Cannell says.
He just constantly screeches, right? That's the bird guy. He's just like chicken little.
Yeah, he's constantly cope screeching. That's all he does. It's cope screech.
And I really hoped that phrase would take off more. Cope screeching.
We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back, Dane. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, you know.
Enjoy the negative grift, guys. I'm out.
He has.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Oh, like a rock show. The fucking lights are down and stuff. By the way, I don't know if he has his sunglasses on in this or not, but if he doesn't, I'm excited because he looks like a fucking sociopath when he does. He looks like he's just not tethered to reality. Critical.
Oh, just wait till you see how he fumbles the entrance here. It's pretty funny.
Or does he stagger on stage and get lost?
More or less, yeah.
Oh my God, it's called it.
The man who plucked me out of my world of theater and put me into political commentary, radio hosting, and podcasting was a man named Andrew Breitbart. You've heard a little bit about him this week.
Son of Breitbart here. It's all connected, folks.
Always has
been.
And
he coined the phrase, politics is downstream from culture. He would meet people at Young America's Foundation conferences and found out that these kids, if I may say, want to change the world, want to affect our nation. And he would say, God forbid you go to Washington, D.C. to do that. Go to Hollywood if you really want to change our country. D.C. reacts to what happens in your home. What happens in your house is more important than what happens in the White House. And when D.C. reacts to what's happening in your house, usually it's because your house is reacting to what Hollywood did about 6 months ago.
None of that's
so
true.
Let's talk about what's really going on in our popular culture and in the entertainment business.
Let me
first start with Will Jordan. He is one of the most popular movie and cultural critics on the internet, and you know him better as the Critical Drinker.
Yeah.
Love the high waters, bro.
Yeah, those socks are fucking great, bro.
Just.
So notice how Critical Drinker is not.
I think he might be drunk. Oh,
here
he is.
Oh, no sunglasses. Yeah, look at that.
There I go, waiting for my cue.
The editor-in-chief of FilmThreat.com, Alan Ng, reviewed films and interviewed independent.
So I'm gonna look at something here. I want to see if I can find anything about Film Threat because I'm pretty confident that they'd get no traffic. On the website.
I have no idea.
Like I think they used to, and I think that's why they because they have this sort of established in early internet.
Yeah, Chris Gore used to be somebody.
I think that's why they end up on something like this, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He probably tries to use that to his advantage all the time, and only every once in a while does it actually benefit him.
I feel like I suspect what happened is that they had a list of other people they wanted to get before they got to Chris Gore. He's like the 36th guy down the list, like Commander Sinclair was at Babylon 5, right? They just kept looking until they found a guy.
Like all the other people Roslin was in Battlestar Galactica. Yeah,
right.
She was 43rd. So I did not know that show had shared that similarity in that way.
Filmmaker since 2013 and the co-host of the Film Threat podcast, Alan Ng.
For this guy, I did coin the term Ingcel. He is an Ingcel, Alan Ingcel. You're welcome to use that. Please do.
He does, and this is going to be mean. This is me just mean girling for a second. So stand by. He gives me Igor in a suit vibes. Like just henchman vibes. He has henchman vibes.
He's totally henchman who has somehow.
I don't know who this guy is, other than he is a henchman. He is the number 2 lackey who the villain monologues at, and he goes, "Yes, master." That seems to be this guy.
Yeah, that's who he is.
Okay,
he's Chris Gore's sidekick.
Sure. Okay. So, all right.
Because that's what you do with an Asian guy. Whenever there's an Asian guy and a white guy, you make the Asian guy the sidekick.
Jesus Christ.
He's the Kato to Chris Gore's Green Hornet.
Look, long tradition here.
But Kato was the competent one. That's the bit.
That's probably the case here too. I think. If you can call anything that they do competent at all, or anything that pertains to being good at something, involved in this grift, then I would assume that he's. I mean, look, he is the one that I'll say this to his actual credit. I read his. I went to Film Threat. Only time I ever went to Film Threat as their website, and I read his review for Citizen Vigilante.
Oh no.
Which he did give some praise to, and he did appeal to the like, well, there are some problems, blah blah blah. But then he just came out like most of it was him admonishing the movie for being fucking irresponsible by straight up implying or saying that people need to do something about this, and like that violence is somehow like so that I was kind of impressed. Honestly.
That like, is he crossed a bar.
That tells me that he's maybe not a grifter, that he's maybe just kind of a dipshit that believes, some of the stuff that he's been, because otherwise a grifter is going to just go with it, right?
Right, just going to ride the text.
They're not going to be. They're going to stop it at. Well, wait a second. I think it's being irresponsible here because the grifters are either a grifter and you just say whatever the crowd wants to hear, or you're a hate monger and you agree that people should go out and do violence against immigrants or whatever.
And the founder and publisher of FilmThreat.com, incredibly influential in the industry and in your homes. Host of the Film Threat Livecast on YouTube, Chris Gore.
I will, to Chris Gore's credit, watching this now.
All right, and yes, we are going to have Q&A
how to walk onto a stage
when we're done, so get ready for that.
That is a skill he possesses that his panelists do not.
Well, he is very influential in the industry. We just heard
what that man said.
So every single video title on Film Threat is all caps.
Ew.
The first one from 3 hours ago, you're not going to fucking believe this, is writer Jessica Gao destroyed She-Hulk with wokeness.
Are we still complaining? Christopher, bring it in, buddy. Are you still doing She-Hulk in 2026?
I believe the Critical Drinker put out a She-Hulk video today too.
What is it, like She-Hulk Memorial Day? What's going on, bros? Like, I get that you all have Ghostbusters PTSD and you haven't seen a therapist in a decade. But
they're trying to get some of that Marvel cheddar, right? Marvel, because of Spider-Man, is kind of adjacent to the algorithm right now. So they can't do their grift on Spider-Man.
No,
with all the
Spider-Man.
stretching, though, you think they would do Mr. Fantastic. They're reaching real hard.
Spider-Man Battles Summer Slop, plus loads of reviews, Film Threat Livecast there. That's what they said about that 10 hours ago.
But they can't do the typical thing where they talk about how horrible and stupid and woke the latest Marvel thing is because everybody fucking loves this.
Right.
And it's a huge, like, I think it's the highest grossing movie of all time at this point. And
I would not be surprised. It's doing crazy numbers.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and they just can't do that. So they got to find something Marvel adjacent to talk shit about.
Hold on, correct me if I'm wrong. Roger Avery was the co-writer of Pulp Fiction, right?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I think that's right. So there was another guy that wrote Pulp Fiction with Tarantino.
Sure.
And let me check.
Why do you ask?
Because they've got Roger Avery on their show, and I'm pretty sure that's what I remember the name from. Yep. So story by Quentin Tarantino, Roger Avery, screenplay by Quentin Tarantino. So this is a case of, and I know this, I've seen him mentioned elsewhere. He is just one of these guys that like he feels like he deserved more.
Mm-hmm.
He was part of, Pulp Fiction, which was a huge fucking game-changing Hollywood success.
Right.
And then Tarantino got all the fucking accolades for it. We can talk about whether that's deserved or not. Probably mostly so, yeah. But like he did write the story. The story for it, co-wrote it, and then didn't get his flowers. So like here he is now, one of these guys that just feels like he's fucking owed something more, and he's gonna be bitter, and he's gonna go on fucking Film Threat and say probably we already know what kind of shit he's probably saying.
Oh yeah, he's gonna say the same chuddy shit that causes me to develop chud blindness, and I can't tell them apart.
Well, let's put a pin in him, and we'll look up what else he's written.
Makes sense. Yeah. While we listen to the Three Stooges here, this is the worst Three Stooges remake.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you
for coming to Babylon. Right. Or as they call it, Hollywood for ugly people, they like to call it. I have questions for each and every one of you individually, but my first question is actually for all of you, because as we saw in the video and as I've seen from your content, you address this issue, but there's one missing element. Our favorite film franchises have been destroyed. They have been warped, and it makes no sense to me. And I believe foolishly thought that people in Hollywood did this because they thought it would grow their audience, that they thought they would make more money. Oh, let's, go woke because that's the trend, that's where the world is going. Is that why they did this, or did...
It's almost like that's not actually what the problem is. And I mean, never mind the fact that like saying that all of our franchises are destroyed is a claim in itself that it warrants inspection.
I know I've said this before on previous shows, but like, destroy to mean it's a word with a definition. If my toaster is destroyed, I can't use it. If my TV is destroyed, I can't watch it. If I want to watch Star Wars, I can just I could leave this stream and go in the other room and I could watch Star Wars in several different ways.
Well, I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying, but I mean, not to take their side or anything, but I mean, if we're talking about this, we're talking about a viable in making future content that is successful, not just like something that already exists.
But that's not just that's you may have written yourself into a corner or run out of ideas, but that doesn't mean it's destroyed because
which is that the landscape has changed,
right.
And you're not guaranteed to make the biggest movie of the year by doing a Star Wars. But you might, but there's plenty of comics that are doing pretty well. There's books that are doing well. There's plenty of merch. There's cartoons that people like. So like,
but it's like saying Jaws was destroyed because the Jaws sequels aren't very good. What?
Well, I mean the current year 2026 is the best year cinema has had financially since 2019.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's been
since before COVID. This is the best year, and
half of that.
The answer to his question, by the way, is yes. They did it for the money because market forces, not culture, is downstream of politics. Politics and culture are both downstream of material conditions, which is another way of saying market forces.
Right,
and market forces are dragging the entertainment industry into wokeness, whether they like it or not. It is inevitable.
It even drags Critical Drinker. When he writes a short film, he writes it about the female character that he feels should be the centerpiece of the Ryan Drake story, right? Like
he chose to do that, right? Like he picked that story to make into his little short film.
Really, because the first time there was also that he co-wrote the first one, but there was a character that was so important to the story that by being forced to remove her from the cut because she was so bad, the actress was so bad that essentially caused the film to collapse in on itself and make no sense.
Cast a better actress.
So let's play a little game here. What do you think Drinker's answer to this question is going to be?
Oh God, it's going to be some nonsense. I don't know, man. Like
it's going to be word salad.
Because I already know. I've watched this video. So,
or it's either going to be word salad or a combination of that, and he's going to appeal to something specific that is also going to be reductive and misrepresenting of that thing too. Just my guess.
They do this. Let me put it this way: did they ruin Star Wars because they wanted to ruin Star Wars? Because they hate Star Wars, and we'll start with you because I know you're ready to go.
Oh yeah. I think they hated the old version of Star Wars that exemplified...
The one that we all loved.
Exactly, yeah.
The
one that
they...
exemplified traditional heroic values that, dare I say it, had a heroic male lead, that was something that was universal, that everyone could gravitate towards. I think they hated that. They wanted to undo it, and they wanted to replace it with their new and improved version that they believed they could eventually get everyone to like. And as it turns out, well, the opposite happened.
Okay. So but let me just quickly follow up. So they did think that it would expand the audience, right? I mean, because I've heard some people speculate that they killed Star Wars because they wanted it to die. They actually didn't want people to like it anymore.
No, I don't think they wanted to destroy it because ultimately they
want money, but also Hollywood is vanity.
Stupid little fucking babies that don't understand anything. You just hate Star Wars. They made a bad one because they hate it. It's like, dude, I can see these conversations play out in fucking YouTube comment sections.
Right, but you missed it. The drinker just said, "Oh yeah, they did it for the money. They thought it was going to expand their audience."
So they didn't do it. They didn't destroy it. He immediately one sentence after the other.
He gave the required talking point, and then he backtracked without realizing he did it, and gave the actual answer, which is they thought it would give them money. That's why they did it.
It's money, dear boy. It's always money, dear boy. It's the Scooby-Doo thing, right?
It's a contradiction of his entire narrative.
This is what happens
all of his videos.
When you don't have any sort of window into a class analysis, material analysis of anything, like, because, and that's what these guys exist for, I believe, is just to exist in that space where otherwise people might go, wait a second, what's up with Hollywood? Just kind of, they don't even make anything original anymore. Why is that? Maybe it's because they're just like so determined to profit, and that's by the over time that becomes the sole motivator for making movies. Even though,
why is Hollywood just keep trying to make things that make money? They're a business. Next question. It's not a conspiracy theory.
He just exposed himself. Well, good.
I hope not. Ew.
Driven. They wanted the applause, they wanted the accolades, they wanted the praise of having brought Star Wars into the new age or a new generation, the modern audience, you might say. And so they thought that they could do that. They were probably misled into believing that woke culture online was a much bigger deal than it actually was. That it was much more widespread.
Woke culture.
Thanks for the channel shout out.
Yeah, thanks, Drinker.
Yeah, by the way, thanks. Well, I mean, for now.
For now, yeah. Don't. You gotta,
But like, God, he's so fucking stupid and dishonest in both at the same time.
Like, he can't just lie. He has to lie, tell the truth, and then lie again. It's just like,
well, like, they wanted the accolades of stuff, and yet they chose to, make these decisions based on things that weren't really popular. Like, none of it makes any goddamn sense. None of it.
Yeah, it's nonsense. It's word salad. It's just like, I'm just gonna say words that make me sound like I have an opinion.
It seems more like concept salad to me. Like there is some chunk of a concept that he's conveying there, but then he pivots to another one that's almost contradictory, and it's just like, dude, you can't have that concept in there with that concept. That makes no sense.
He's got memento disease, but it's sentence to sentence.
Yeah, he's an NPC. He's going down a dialogue tree and pulling up answers to questions that sound vaguely like they belong to the question that was asked.
And
if they're not consistent with the sentence that came
before. It already
before.
answered something that previously, and so it's answering it again in a different way. Yeah.
Critical Drinker brought to you by ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Chud GPT.
Spread than it turned out to be, because it was a small number of extremely loud people on social media that created that false impression. But they see that and they react to it.
So it's a small number, and yet they're constantly worried about the mob. The mob is really just a small number of people that can come for your job, or what? Like,
hey, wait a minute. A small number of loud people online who assume that their position is the correct thing. Drinker. It's really rude for you to call the kettle black that way.
Also, have you met the internet?
Yeah, also that.
So why they will not talk with us. This is exactly what. This is why they've done this. The shit they've done, the shady stuff about, they'll mention organized chaos, but then throw under the bus in some fucking shitty way, but ignore all of the points he's made, or me. When they've done that shit with me, they've done it with they do it with everybody. Anytime. Yeah. It's like they have a way of, unintentionally probably letting us know that, like, oh, they see they hear what we're saying. They know what we're saying it. And they have chosen to run the other way.
Well, yeah, the few times I've had the displeasure of getting these people's attention for being in one of these streams, they have to pause my every word to talk about how trans I am. Like, it wasn't obvious. It's like, oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
By the way, audience, you may not know this. Morgan is trans.
Shit, really?
What?
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry to out you that way. I'm sorry, but it just had to be done.
Wait, I'm trans? Since when?
I don't know. Bob's kind of.
Look, I have a nose for these things. Okay, I can always tell.
Your TDAR is
Morgan. Bob, we got to move on here.
Do it, yeah. Alan.
Yeah, I agree with Drew, but I'll take it from a different aspect. There's a saying that's been going around: male and pale is stale. And I think
what?
Look, I've grown up watching white content all my life, and I have to say I love it. And but it's this idea that that the way people used to make movies, the way people used to tell stories, is old and pale and boring. And so we need to bring a new generation in to tell stories in a new way.
That's not what.
But
I've never heard.
Does he not understand the concept of time, that generations come and go, and you're always going to have to bring a new generation into the stories?
The men, but by and large, men that started making movies in the 70s were fucking leagues beyond different from the people that made films before that. Like that generation of filmmaking was fucking. I can't imagine being alive and like seeing it happen. But I can
so much so that they were called New Hollywood.
Right. Well, and the industry has never once managed, up until like really the MCU, really managed that level of success again. And even then, like, they're not nearly as talented or innovative. Like, really, the MCU model is based on the Spielberg-Lucas blockbuster model.
True. Yeah.
If they didn't really set out to do, they just did it because they were that, like, people want to see their shit. Mm-hmm.
Because Marvel, if nothing else, had become very skilled at telling stories that worked,
right,
for general audiences, and then once they started doing that for mass audiences, it was just kind of like, yeah, done deal.
Yeah.
But eventually the audiences were like, oh wait, now we've seen this all a bunch of times.
We've seen it all.
And also the characters that we really kind of started this on was like, where they at? Oh, they're bringing it back. Cool.
Yeah, weird that Spider-Man does well. The most popular character in the world.
That's crazy. Like, I mean, that's not. I understand Spider-Man's fucking super popular. I understand that he is. I'm glad that he is. He should be. But like, it's still just fucking crazy that he can do $1 billion almost opening weekend.
Clearly, I just want to talk Spider-Man and not listen to these guys. But like, it's so weird that Spider-Man is this popular figure where I think, like, if you're in the comic shop with the, comic nerd TM, I think there is this level of disparity level that Spider-Man, just that it continues to linger from one more day, or from one more day.
Yeah, but like if we left it to those guys, we would never have had Spider-Man movies in the first place, if that's what it was.
That's true. But it's just interesting culturally.
Audiences in a way that, like, honestly, I mean, I prior to now, I probably would have said that like Batman was maybe the most popular character. I don't think that's true. I think Spider-Man is.
Spider-Man is like, I've seen reporting on like the market value globally of these different characters, and Spider-Man, the most popular, is twice as valuable as Batman. Batman is in second place, and he's worth like half of what the Spider-Man franchise's value is valued at. It's insane how popular Spider-Man is. Even to me, like, I had no idea until I looked it up, just how fucking popular this character is across the world.
Well, then beyond that too, right now you've got Tom Holland and Zendaya have $2 billion movies at once.
What happened to Zendaya fatigue?
Yeah, I guess Zendaya fatigue. I don't know, the people got the appetite for her again. I don't know. It's weird.
Like, I feel like Zendaya fatigue is what happens after you watch those movies back to back.
Yeah.
Don't forget John Bernthal was in both movies as well.
That's true, yeah.
Give the man the respect.
Give that man his flowers, yeah.
Zendaya backlash whenever Dune 3's out. People won't go see it.
Right. So. These fucking losers.
Not realizing that the reason stories, movies, television were so popular is because they followed certain principles of storytelling, of being able to connect with audiences.
Yeah, are you going to talk about what those principles are, those specific principles that you're referencing, or can you say what they are? No?
Well, no, because it doesn't have principles.
Right.
And saying, we're not talking about this message so much. We need
What message?
What's the message?
What is it?
Yeah, tell me what the message is. I want to know.
Fucking clear, obvious red flag for somebody grifting, telling you some bullshit is whenever they're talking about some kind of concept like this, and they're just like not being specific at all, but the concept itself is loaded with like an emotionality that you may feel something in what he's saying. But if you really get that feeling, what is he actually saying? Is he just trying to trigger that response in you? Yes. Because what he's thinking of what movies used to be versus how you feel what they used to be, that they aren't anymore, whatever, could be two completely different things. Same fucking concept as them using woke for this or that or whatever. It's like, yeah, you could be like, it's kind of annoying, and they're just like, I hate everybody. That's what woke me.
Throw that into our content, into our stories. And so what's happening is universities, schools are starting to produce artists who don't know art anymore.
Oh, that's that.
Don't know why art works.
Right.
So,
but
let me
citation needed. You know what? Okay.
I'm sure Alan Ng knows how art works, right?
Do you know what art doesn't work? This dumb fucking spinny button they have on screen. That's some fucking art that doesn't work.
And what art have these guys made that's any good ever?
Literally,
like I'm sure at some level every artist thinks the thing they're working on right now is awesome.
Joke's on you. I think it's shit, but
yeah. But I mean, while somebody's in the process of working on a creative project, they themselves in the moment often think this is awesome before they have any distance from it, right? And can be more objective about their work. But these guys haven't done anything creative or artistic that's worth a damn to anybody, apparently. I mean, we could look at a comic
book again if you want to, or we could watch any one of the Critical Drinker things or whatever.
Critical Drinker's movies are rated lower than almost every movie he complains about on like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.
Yep.
Well, that's because those sites are woke and
that's because the woke mob is
by Hollywood.
It's the woke mob,
the modern audience. Yeah.
Wait, we control it? Sweet. Look at us go.
Yeah. All right.
With you, because what I don't understand is these stories, it's not breaking new ground. I'm not like, shocking anyone to say that Star Wars, the original trilogy, was really based on timeless, classical storytelling components with the same type of archetype characters that you could see in Greek literature, but also in Chinese mythology and literature. So it has nothing to do with the race of the characters.
No, it wasn't.
The stories are not white.
It's Flash Gordon. Star Wars is based on Flash Gordon and Kurosawa movies.
It's John Carter. It's Seven Samurai.
Well, what he's gesturing at is Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, which is a modern American invention. It is not an ancient storytelling template. That's like you can go and find scholarship around Campbell's claims at the time he made them from classicists going, this is bullshit. But it became popular because of Star Wars.
Right. Yeah, it's a framework that you can force existing stories into. It's not some archetypal historic model. You can bend it around other stories and go, see, it kind of fits.
Yeah, it became popular because he was not an executive at the time, but I think he was a script consultant at Disney in the early 1980s named Christopher Vogler, had read Joseph Campbell in college, and Campbell mentioned Star Wars in his work, and Christopher Vogler felt that the hero's journey template was the key to guaranteed financial success, and he circulated a memo in the Disney offices, and that memo went viral before going viral was what we called going viral across all of the studios. And eventually Christopher Vogler was put on the Lion King project, which is the most hero's journey movie ever made, because it
pretty much
the template beat for beat. And it's not that it's a bad template, it works, but it's not the ancient universal
Right.
Right. It's
tapping into essential human nature that these guys are gesturing at.
It's funny how anytime they're talking about something like that, they're just talking about stuff that's existed since the 1950s, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the whole mega mindset is the world begins in 1949 and ends in 1959. As soon as JFK is sworn in 61, the world ended. Everyone knows that.
If somebody wants to press play, you can. I'm in a different window.
Oh, sure, I got you.
Per se.
Yeah. No, it's true. Stories, the great stories, the ones that we love and we remember, are the stories that connect with us, even though the person on the screen doesn't look like us. But we connect with that journey, that adventure.
I agree with this part.
Wait a minute. Wait, did he just say what I thought he said?
He just said yeah.
Did he just say it doesn't matter what the person on the screen looks like if you can connect with them?
He said representation is important. That's what he said.
Interesting.
Or at least it's at least valid, you know?
Okay, let's continue.
What seems to be happening in Hollywood now is to say, I'm not coming to you where you're at and as the person you are, but I want to tell you the person you should be.
No, it's
and
not.
that they expect us now to pay money to buy tickets to see a movie about people we can't relate to.
Okay. No.
So stupid.
Okay, so like, no. just
no.
Just no, bro.
Commentary over.
Notice
like,
okay,
okay,
yeah, exactly. The inherent contradiction in what you just said.
There are movies that not all movies are like this, right? Documentaries aren't usually like this. Plenty of dramas or comedies, you're not supposed to do this, but like because they were talking Star Wars, I'll use Star Wars. So we're all playing on a commonly understood field. Yes, Star Wars, there's a good guy and a bad guy, and you are supposed to take from that movie to be more like the good guys and less like the bad guys. The Star Wars is a morality play. It's part of the whole framework. Yep. Okay, that's what Star Wars did. But now that's bad today for a movie to do what Star Wars did in the 70s.
It's bad for Star Wars to do it today.
Right, but Star Wars being
a lecture.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
I think it's not just the person that you should be. It's that I hate the person that you are, and I want you to feel guilty about the person.
When was that said?
When does that?
Right. See, so I want to point out the inherent contradiction here is that they're on the one hand they both just, or they, not both of them, but Alan Ng just said or implied there's something wrong with you if you can't empathize with the character on screen just because they don't look like you. Like he says, I like all these white characters, and now they're showing, excuse me, that they have that problem. They can't empathize. Damn, excuse me. You get the point.
Well,
clear my throat here.
To while you're clearing your throat, it's one of those things that it's telling on yourself, right? If you feel the movie is telling you that the sort of person you're a bad guy is, especially when you're talking about a Star War, right? If Star Wars is saying, hey, you, a person like you is a bad guy, if you take that from Star Wars, man, Star Wars' morality is really simple and basic, and I got bad news for you, man. The bad guys in Star Wars are space Nazis, and so if you're like, this movie is chastising me in its bad guys.
Can I give you guys
bad guys are white men, though? That's the thing, right?
I want to give you guys a real
example. But here's the thing: is in the sequel trilogy, right? And the movies they all hate, they're not.
Okay, I want to give you guys an example of why it's important to push back at this kind of stupid shit, because, and it's not just because they're saying things we don't like about the movie or whatever. It's because this type of rhetoric it paves the way for this type of thing right here.
Stupid shit.
The Treaty of Versailles humiliated Germany and left the nation in economic and moral shambles. And it was attacked from within by grossly immoral Jewish forces during the Weimar Republic. It was a period of extreme degeneracy marked by homosexuality, transgenderism, widespread brothels, child prostitution.
So the reason why it's important that we identify the Empire as the fucking space Nazis and that they're evil is because, you know, it allows us to engage with the reality of the world in which we exist in. And, you know, ideally we would have just been talking about the Nazis in the past tense forever.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Like these guys that kind of foot in the door for a lot of, you know, casual movie fans and stuff, these concepts of like, you know, oh, they're just saying that, you know, white people are blah, blah. And then as I looked at on stream last week, when I looked at that script trooper, his name was, who literally is just one of these fucking, there's many of them online, guys that just identify with the aesthetics of being a goddamn stormtrooper. And that just was, lo and behold, they also happen to fucking be fascists.
Right.
You know,
and
like
that's a function of their failure to empathize with a character on screen who does not look like them. But then they chastise everyone for failing. They want to chastise like black people or women for not doing the same thing to white men.
They don't think it's important. They don't think it matters. To them, the thing you're supposed to do is just, you know, wear the fucking the white hood or helmet or whatever, and kill the people you're told to kill. That's it.
Oh, I think they do think it matters. At least a lot of them do, because their argument is, you black people or trans people or women, there is something wrong with you if you can't empathize with a white male character just because they don't look like you. But then when they are presented with a film in which the bad guy happens to be white and the hero happens to be a woman, they can't empathize with the woman on screen named Ray. So they all either think the movie is preaching at them, or they lean into identifying with the white men in the movie who are all fascists. That's where their psyche is, I think.
I think you're probably right. Oof.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Let's continue.
All right. Let's
We can.
continue. Oh,
And I think, wow, isn't that strange that tends to alienate an audience? Of course it does.
All right, Chris. Well, I think there's a lot of terrible ideas that have, you know, found their way into universities, being taught to students.
Wow,
and
really?
This is actually then seeded in Hollywood. And that is that you are only able to identify with someone who looks like you. And that's a colossally...
No, Chris Gore, that's your problem. That's the reason you think that Hollywood is preaching at you, is because you can't empathize with women or black people or queer people on screen. And when you see them, you think it's an attack on you because you can't identify with someone unless they are a white, cisgendered, presumably straight man.
Or something you saw when you were so young you hadn't developed those biases yet, so it gets under the radar.
Yeah.
Stupid idea. Because the purpose of all fiction and storytelling, whether it's a comic book, video game, novel, or a movie, is that you are able to see the world through the eyes of the protagonist. When I saw Alien, starred Sigourney Weaver in 1979.
Well, there it is.
I was not an adult woman.
Movie.
I was a young boy. Saw
Don't put
this
yourself
alien.
down, Chris.
Yeah, but I identified with her as the protagonist. She was the smartest person in the room. She didn't want to let Cain in, right? He had the alien in his stomach. So that is a terrible, terrible idea. And when that idea became seeded in Hollywood, that's how they cast, right?
No.
Okay. Nope. Go on. Go ahead, Morgan.
No, go ahead. That's all I had.
Oh. I mentioned earlier, I don't remember if you'd come on stream or not yet, but I think you did, that it's because of market forces.
Mm-hmm.
I've made this point on other streams before as well, that the demographic trend, the unstoppable demographic trend in the United States is that by the year 2045 at the latest, a majority of Americans will not be white.
Right.
White people will still be the single largest group, but all of the other groups, all the other groups will put together will outnumber us. And Hollywood is not run by idiots. The actuarial tables are telling them
There's some idiots
who they
in there
need to be marketing to. Well, yeah, there's some, but the actuarial tables are telling them who they need to be marketing to right now. They have to cultivate a new audience and a new workforce for the next 20, that's going to be here in 20 years. And so they're doing all the woke stuff and the DEI.
Right.
That's why it's happening. It's not because they want to force you to think something. They have no choice. They have to do this if they want to survive in a capitalist economy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so by the way, follow up on my, YouTube arc career. This is exact kind of stuff that I think I'm ready to. Well, not ready. Literally, I'm in the process of pivoting to. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time and just have not been able to completely change my my relationship with how I do content and stuff like that enough to consistently do this the way that I imagine it being done. But I really do want to create like a catalog of videos, content that kind of breaks all these down, these tactics, these kind of fucking propagandized views on movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
In bite-sized kind of form, so that like they can always be there, and so anytime somebody encounters them, you know where to go. There's this video that's going to explain out. You can share that, pass along. And yeah, so one of the things is that I think I was maybe the first one to call it this that I'm aware of, and then other people started calling it this. But the Ripley Sarah Connor thing is them grandfathered in those movies. They're grandfathered in because they already existed prior to these guys. They had the bonding with the connection to the media before they had their political ideological grift awakening or whatever.
Right. It's a childhood memory.
It's like
you could hand them the script, change the names, and they'd hate it.
Their mom can't be a slut or what, a feminist or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they don't see their mom as being a woman.
Right.
I imagine, you know what I mean?
It's kind of like that, though.
Yeah.
It's partially that, and it's also partially that Ripley and Sarah Connor, particularly Sarah Connor, but Ripley in the second movie, Aliens.
Yeah.
Their badassery was fueled by maternal instincts, which is in their eyes is an intrinsically feminine trait. So they don't see those characters as trying to mimic a man because they're doing something that they consider, or they're motivated by something they consider traditionally feminine.
Sure.
But I've shared the story before of when I was a wee nerd, and my dad and my uncles, who were all what we would now call chuds, if they were alive today, they would be fans of The Critical Drinker.
Right.
They hated Ripley. My dad hated Princess Leia because she subverted expectations of space opera. She took charge of her own rescue mission, which the hot lady is not supposed to do.
The meta story of Ripley is so fucking cool because of the fact that the way the script was written originally, it was, presumed to be a man. But once they got a hold of it and started making the casting, they're like, "There's no reason it couldn't be a woman." Like literally, there's nothing in this that indicates it has to be, a man playing the character.
Yeah, in fact, I believe it was studio head Alan Ladd who suggested to Ridley Scott. I said Ripley Scott.
You did.
Who suggested to Ridley Scott that they cast a woman in the role of Ripley.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that's another sort of part of the story of Alien is that she is not, so like when you think of like most movies, the main character gets top billing. Her character is just in the cast list.
Yeah, she kind of just emerges from the script. That's one of the reasons I love that movie is it's not actually clear who the protagonist is until like halfway through the movie.
And that's something I will say that about movies these days. It would be extremely surprising to see a movie do that same thing today.
Yeah, it's unthinkable.
Want you to know who you're supposed to be following, from the beginning, essentially.
From the beginning, yeah. You don't know in Alien who is the main character. And even one you're like, okay, this is a horror movie, so like
what's his name? Tom Skerritt seems like kind of maybe the one at first. He's kind of got the most.
He was the biggest star at the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good old Tom Skerritt.
But that's what makes Alien work.
He wasn't a superstar, but I think at the time that movie came out, Tom Skerritt was the most well-known actor in it.
He was a known quantity back then, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I was going to show. I think I've showed already this graphic I made last week. First of probably many. It kind of explains the whole. Where the hell is it? Shit. You know what? I don't know where it is right now. But I made a graphic.
Wow.
New graphic about how Nerdrotic's a fucking piece of shit. And there'll be other ones like that. But I'm gonna be operating from this type of thing as well going forward. And we're gonna see. You're gonna see that. Get off the screen there. Get out of here, fucking guys, you grifters. This kind of thing is what I'm gonna include. Whenever relevant. So I kind of was looking through this. I was like, holy shit! I think every literal thing here can be applied to anti-fandom content at some point.
Probably.
You got your fake experts, your logical fallacies, impossible expectations, cherry picking, conspiracy theories, and then it breaks down into further, more specific things.
They do love all those things.
Fake debate, yep. Magnified minority, bulk fake experts, moving goalposts. No, they never do that.
I think they've surpassed. Like I think in the last month they have surpassed moving the goalposts.
It's crazy.
They've automated it. They've got a merry-go-round with the goalposts
in and out of reality. It's fucking insane.
They're in a quantum state. Yeah, it's bananas.
All right. Do we want to watch more of these guys or what?
And so that's what made Star Wars universal.
I do.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys do.
I actually have to get going. I have a very early.
I'm gonna get going for too long, but we can watch some more.
So I'm gonna bounce. I'll see y'all later.
Morgan. Thanks for being on.
Bye. Of course. Nice
Bye,
to see you
Morgan.
both.
So I'd like to propose something. Most of what we've watched, or all of what we've watched so far, is stuff that Eric already covered in his video. I think we should skip ahead to maybe a portion that he didn't get to.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Did you already watch that portion as well?
I did not, but he said in his comment to you, and I think he said in his video that there was about 30 minutes of this that he didn't get to.
Oh.
And so we're only 15 or so minutes into it. So let's just jump ahead to right here, maybe.
Okay.
And see what happens. Just crapshoot here.
This is probably where the conversation is real smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. The failure is. I'll let you go with this.
Snow White. That was a fundamental failure in understanding your audience. It was. I don't know. There were pieces there that
it's the first one of these Disney live action things that they've very obviously cynically been doing for years now. It's the only one to fail, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's obviously they failed because they cast an actress who looks exactly like the frickin' cartoon character.
And no, she said something about how it's a little bit rapey, the original version, which is just objectively true. Think about what that implies that they're arguing in favor of. You know what I mean? When they're like, "Oh, how dare she talk about the original like that?" So that's it's like, wait, you're saying that you like that Prince Charming could be kissing her in her sleep? That's kind of cringe, bro.
Maybe.
Hide your daughters, hide your wives.
That should have worked. For example, you had the composers of The Greatest Showman behind it. The songs should have been amazing. They weren't.
Oh, Eric got this far into it as well. Maybe he miscalculated how much was left. Let's skip ahead a little bit more. Let's try it right here. Okay.
Freedom and free market values and American values worldwide. We know that occurred decades ago. Are they resistant? Does Hollywood actually loathe this country so much that the last thing they want is to promote pro-American ideas overseas?
I think what you have in Hollywood is a lot of champagne socialists who like to pretend that they're pro, the people and it's capitalism, free market economies, American values of individualism, all that sort of thing. They're above that.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? What a fucking delusional piece of shit champagne socialists. Jesus Christ, dude.
$50 says he could not explain what socialism is if he tried.
Well, I want to hear what he said there because it sounded like he said, I don't know. I kind of tuned out when he said champagne socialist. I phase out of reality myself here. But yeah.
Know that occurred decades ago. Are they resistant? Does Hollywood actually loathe this country so much that the last thing they want is to promote?
Hollywood is not even it's just a studio system. That's all it is. It is a I guess a broad way of describing the filmmaking industry in general. It's always been really weird to me whenever people take that as if it's just like there's a literal a handful of guys sitting around, and you know what those guys probably look like in their minds, in these chuds minds, right? They're sitting around, they're grubbing their coins and stuff. And they're fucking like, oh, how are we gonna, we hate Hollywood. I mean, we're Hollywood and we hate America. It's like, what? And they're making decisions based on what they think the woke mob wants, but also because they hate capitalism, but because also they're champagne socialists, which means that they are rich people too, and yet they're pretending to be socialists. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense.
The host's question is premised on nationalism, which capitalism, one of the good things about capitalism, one of the few good things, is that it undermines nationalism because capital transcends national borders. And it's in the interest of the capital class to create a world economic system in which money and other forms of capital can flow freely anywhere they want it to go.
Well, that's what we're seeing happen with the fascist administration right now in some ways, is that the reason they're not able to be as efficient at being fascist is because they're also fucking craven capitalists. And
because we're so integrated into a global economy already that we can never fully extract ourselves from it. But he's saying, why aren't Hollywood studios more nationalistic? And the Critical Drinker's answer was, oh, they're all champagne socialists.
American ideas overseas.
I think what you have in Hollywood is a lot of champagne socialists who like to pretend that they're pro, the people, and it's capitalism, free market economies.
Wait, what? Is he saying that they're pro those things? Or what the fuck is he saying there?
No, he's saying he thinks they're better than those things.
Did he say pro or better than? I'm sorry, I misheard or something. It's
free market economies, American values of like individualism, all that sort of thing. They're above that. They've progressed to something more enlightened and intellectual. In reality, it doesn't reflect what people want.
Where did you get that information, William Jordan? Where did you get the data on which you based this analysis? What people in Hollywood have you met? What do they do? What do they say? What did you come to understand about them as human beings and their beliefs that made you think this very specific fucking thing about a bunch of people, enough people that work in and around Hollywood that it becomes the culture and way of things? Where did you get that data set, motherfucker?
Out of his ass. That's where he got that.
Yeah.
Last question before we go to Q&A, and we're going to start with you, Chris, this time and go down. But you didn't get to see this, so let's see it again. How many of you here today in D.C. focused on politics and government? How many of you were involved at some point in the arts, drama, theater, music, performing arts, creative writing, all of those things that make a great...
It's like he's appealing to people's interest in those things, in the government and blah, blah, but he's also like trying to dismiss it as well. You see,
he's basically saying, how many of you are failed writers or entertainers? This is the next generation of Daily Wire people right here.
And it's like you really deserve your better shot, and it's really because the system is the way y'all woke and stuff. They fucked you over, right? Shouldn't you be taking that out on everybody?
Yeah. You know who else was a failed artist?
Me?
Hitler.
Oh, yeah.
Film.
Actually, I'm not a failed artist because as of yesterday, I've got 2 songs on all the major fucking music platforms.
Yay.
Boom. Original music, all mine. Fuck Yankee Blue Jeans. All right.
Kids here. So, Chris, if you wanted to give them advice about how they could positively affect popular culture here, ultimately, in this country, which does affect our government, which does affect politics and our policies, but even more so affect really worldwide, how America is viewed, what advice would you give them? How could they take that creative energy and employ it?
You know what? More than anything, in the last, I don't know, dozen years or more, has had a substantial, really negative effect in how the world sees America. It's the president right now. The president,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it is beyond comprehension how much, like, we can't even see it because we're the frog in the water right now. We can't understand fully the way that the world has changed around us because of this fucking president has diminished all, whether it was earned or warranted or not. We had a lot of fucking capital as far as like culture and being respected and being seen as a military fucking, just God. And he has exposed us as not being that like literally right now, like it came out that they did not attack Iran over the weekend because we just don't have the fucking missiles. We don't have the fucking bombs. We can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that is so fucking beyond anything I could have imagined happening as far as, what's the fucking budget for the Pentagon? Jesus Christ.
But $1.5 trillion, and then which I think should buy us at least one war, right? Like, before we
were told that Iran is not even anything special. We were told they were in caves.
Mm-hmm.
We were made to believe that they, these are just like they're barely even can communicate language. Turns out these motherfuckers are smart, and they don't live in caves.
Yeah, but I think like
that. For the record, I understand that there Iran in the 1960s. Look that up, man. If you want to see what America fucking did to kind of deserve to have their asses kicked by Iran a long time ago. Really, we did that.
Yeah. But like the Pentagon budget before we did anything to Iran was $1.5 trillion. And apparently that's not enough. I think that should buy us at least one war, whether I agree with the war or not. That should be enough to pay for one war that we don't fuck up. But we fucked it up immediately, But to circle back, I want to point out that these three guys and the rest of them in this circle, the Chud circle, always complain about people infusing politics into their media.
Yeah.
And they put on the pretense of being apolitical fans. And here they are at a literal fascist political conference,
mm-hmm.
telling people how they can create media that advances nationalism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think they would disagree with you. Like, if you were to confront them with saying that all they do is complain and stuff, in fact, here is evidence that they would.
I love
there you go. All. Lil Movie Perp says, "Is this where the salty fanboys hang out and complain about not being pandered to anymore? Are we salty fanboys? I don't know.
I think there are channels that do that better than us. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also, I don't care. Like, yeah. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell Chris was having a moment there, man. He was confronted with it in a way that I don't think he was prepared to do live. He probably has to wrestle. He probably goes to bed every night. He's got to wrestle with it a little bit. He's like, Chris, remember whenever you just like you believed in the power of movies and stuff, and you just like really want to do that? Remember that?
Hey, real world advice. First of all, watch a lot of movies.
Do that. Sorry.
Good. I was just spinning out. By the way, he looks like complete shit, unless you're saying that he is someone's grandma. In that case, pretty foxy.
He doesn't even look like a foxy grandma.
I mean, look, if you maybe wake up next to a grandma who was pretty foxy the night before, she's kind of, in the morning she's a little bit rough, but that's about what it looks like.
Listen to DVD commentary. You can do one of two paths: studio path, get a job, low level at a studio, or make an independent movie. So some of you that might thinking maybe you want to go for your master's or whatnot, maybe take that money and make a movie. Many of our, Chris Nolan made a movie called Following, was his first film, shot 16 millimeter. Okay, he was able to afford one reel of film, and he shot on weekends, and when the film ran out, that was it. His second movie, Memento, he's an indie filmmaker. James Gunn started at Troma, working for Lloyd Kaufman. Whatever you think of Lloyd Kaufman and Troma movies, nobody else is a big fan, but I probably. But you need to make an indie film and then Chris.
That's interesting advice because I'm sitting here looking at his filmography. I'm like, well, he's saying just do this, so like clearly it's something that anybody can do, or at least somebody talented, right? That must be Chris. Let's see. So his Wikipedia has here's his whole life right here. Early in his career, he created several short films as Christian Gore, which honestly is kind of a badass name and would be really cool for like a death metal band.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Christian Gore. Betaville, Doorman, Red, and Ouch. He also made an hour-long docudrama, Cool Teenager from Planet X. He sold some of these through the Film Threat video. So this is his thing, is he was able to successfully create some avenue of getting some of his art that he was self-producing, self-financing, I imagine, back when he was young. And that's cool, man. That is cool. Do that. If that's what he's, do it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that he probably just maybe didn't have the talent or just didn't luck out. It does take some luck a lot of cases to really see success with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest stroke of luck he had, well, I mean, he had a stroke, but he also had a stroke of luck, was when he worked on G4 for several years, Attack of the Show.
Yeah. And then he did The People versus George Lucas.
Yeah, so he did a recurring host on G4 television program Attack of the Show for the DVD Doomsday. What? That's a stupid name. Reviewing DVDs. He also had a film-related segment on the weekly FX series The X Show. He's also the host and moderator of the New Movie Show with Chris Gore, also on FX. In 2000, where a panel mixed between critics and celebrity guests reviewed movies. G4 then based a recurring gag in August 2010 episode of Attack of the Show on the murder of Chris Gore, bringing up 3 potential murderers each, furthering the idea that his movies are horrible and that everyone wanted to kill him. Gore co-wrote and produced, I think so. Now, if that tells us anything, it might be kind of answer that question of whether he was more lack of talent or lack of luck. Because he seemed to have a lot of luck, honestly. Because he right here, he co-wrote and produced the independent parody film My Big Fat Independent Movie, a comedy spoof of other indie films featuring Pauly Shore. His books include The 50 Greatest Movies Never Made, the Ultimate Film Festival Survival Guide, and the complete DVD book, Designing, Producing, and Marketing Your Independent Film on DVD. Wow, I bet that holds up pretty well. The complete, I'm sorry. He also co-created Sci-Fi Universe magazine. Cool. Which and then created the now defunct Wild Cartoon Kingdom magazine. The latter was used by John Kay under the pen name Thomas Paine to anonymously criticize Nickelodeon following his September 1992 firing from the Ren and Stimpy show. In 2016, so it jumps from fucking 2010 basically to 2016. A lot of jumping around here. Not a lot happening.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of. You could tell that he made sure this was filled out. 2016, he was interviewed by the Star Wars documentary, The Prequels Strike Back, A Fan's Journey. In 2023, he released a documentary, Attack of the Doc, about the history of G4, appealing to his glorious mythical past. That's it. That's where it ends. He lives in California, Los Angeles.
Yeah. So, Philly dude, who owns DVDs these days? You should, if you're smart, because physical media is the only way you're going to be able to hold on to any of the streaming stuff.
Here's where it's at.
Yeah, they're going to take away anything electronic, anything streaming that you actually paid for to own. They're going to take it away from you and make it rental now. So, physical media is where it's at, folks. Anyway, let's get a little bit more of this madness. I wonder what the other panelists will say.
Nolan, we see his career now. He calls his own shots. I say I'm of the path. I've always been entrepreneurial. Make an indie movie that puts yourself in the driver's seat. That means that you can go. Now, when I say make, doesn't mean you direct. Maybe you produce. Maybe you write. There are many different. Filmmaking is a team sport. Yeah. So I encourage you to make your own stuff.
Well, and the fact is, forget about one reel of 16mm film. They're all carrying around in their pocket.
Correct.
Yes, 4K. More production quality and value right now in your pocket than most studios had 20 years ago. Yep. And it's just part of your device.
Yeah, filmmaking has never been more accessible than it is right now. And that's the fantastic thing about it. There is the ability now for people to make independent movies on no budget, essentially, and still produce something halfway decent at the end of it. You learn by doing, so start doing.
Alan?
Yeah.
Take your own advice, Will. I mean, I guess you're doing good for you. But the product you've produced is pretty terrible, and you really don't have any room to be criticizing other people's filmmaking.
First thing I would say is cancel your bus ticket to Hollywood. Please don't come to LA.
Well, actually, can I follow up there? Because there's more than one reason. First of all, Hollywood isn't Hollywood the way it used to be in terms of production. You don't need to be in a studio. But also, part of the reason that I think we're seeing crap from the studios is that Hollywood is crap.
Yeah.
I mean, the city, right?
Yeah, the city. I just saw this video about Rob Lowe wanting to produce a TV show in Hollywood. Found out it was cheaper to fly everyone to Ireland, shoot the show there, than it is to do it on a studio.
And you're not tripping over.
Okay, speaking as an Angelino here, someone who lives in Los Angeles, Hollywood is a neighborhood in Los Angeles. And it's pretty trashy. I'm not going to lie. At least it was the last time I was there.
I'm sorry, breaking news here. Breaking news from 1988. I have a review / profile of filmmaker Christian Gore. He was going by Chris Gore in 1988 in Detroit, where he lived at the time, and had a film made. Was it Cool Teenager from Planet X or whatever. This is fucking funny, guys. Like oh my god, like he makes so much sense now after reading this a little bit. Just check this out. Get off screen and then get on screen. Okay. Art and Alienation. This Gore film doesn't disgust, it disturbs. By Tony Silber. If Chris Gore had his way, Red Fox would be mayor of Detroit. After all, if he can run a junkyard, he can also run Detroit. Says the incredibly annoying 23-year-old renegade filmmaker. That's how Gore thinks. He dazzles, baffles, bores, and brutes. He is full of paradoxes and complexities, and he always has something to say. Gore is an artist, editor, author, an underground filmmaker who resides in Detroit. Home base for his outspoken authority on the independent new film Cool Teenager. Sorry, reading a fucking article like this is really bizarre to my eyes right now. Just like stopping at the picture and then, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a format that we don't see that much of. And then my throat's also fucking up. Thanks, Bob. Got me sick. So it comes to Ann Arbor Monday night, but don't be fooled by the title. It's just some marketing gimmick. It has nothing to do with the film, Gore explains. The film is set in Detroit's Cass Corridor, where crack houses and violence rule the streets. These are the I can't tell what that word is. Sings? I don't know. It's kind of print issue there. That Gore loves best. The main character, Steven, is based on a real person Gore knows, and the film follows his search for art, sex, and drugs. Quote, the boring rituals worth living for, says Gore. But don't look here for a cinematic extravaganza. Since the film cost Gore less than a Yugo would. For anybody that's not aware what a Yugo is.
Oh, God.
My mom had one when I was a kid. It is fucking phenomenal and an amazing and piece of shit. A Yugo was a type of car that was manufactured exclusively in Yugoslavia when it was still a nation. And it's like tiny and you can basically fit it in your pocket. All right. Let's see. Actually, he would like to see Cool Teenager banned from Detroit. What? I wish it was banned. I feel like because I can't seem to find a place to get my film shown.
So he's always been a chud, in other words. Like
fucking dipshit, just like the most annoying fucking asshole. Like I kind of thought that maybe when he was younger, he might have been like a chill guy or something. No, he's fucking always been this shithead.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So what I wanted to point out earlier when they were talking about how Hollywood is a trashy town, they're gesturing at brown people there. That's playing into the trope of the urban blight myth about big cities in America.
In that article too, right in that interview that I just read from.
Yeah.
He's been doing it the whole time, talking about crack houses and shit. You know, like he says he loves it, but like I think he's probably, you know, referring to certain stuff in a certain way. Chuds, man.
Who are, you know, sleeping in their own
Yeah. So they're trying to like I was saying, okay, Hollywood, the neighborhood. I live in Los Angeles. Hollywood, the neighborhood, is not where the film industry is centered. And maybe it used to be, I think, but it's not now. Hollywood just, I think it's called that because of the fucking sign. But the city of Los Angeles overall is not a trashy place. It's a pretty nice place to live. I live in a part of the city that's been called
lives there.
Yeah. So he should know better. He knows he's lying. When him and Alan Ng, who live here, they have to know that they are lying about how horrible Los Angeles is. Or they're just bigots and they can't handle living in a multicultural city.
And because two things can be true, right? Because here I live in Portland, Oregon. It is a beautiful city. There are a lot of it is a fantastic place to walk around. It apparently used to be much better, but it's still pretty good for walking. And not great. It used to be like anti-car, the design of it, and they started kind of giving into cars over the years. But it's a great city. I love it. It's the best city I've lived in. Also, if you're going to walk around and you know, really a couple of blocks down past my house, you're probably going to prone to see homeless people just kind of posted up on the street. Oftentimes you can see them just engaging with whatever illicit activity that they are doing. They don't seem to care that anybody might see it. I'm talking about drugs. You know, every once in a while you'll find like some human feces or a hypodermic needle on the sidewalk. And that sucks, man. And that sucks. And it's like, it sucks that the system puts us in a position, even as humanist lefty people, you know, me and my family are, to be like, where you feel like you have to dread seeing these people. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. It's a bad feeling. It shouldn't happen. But yeah, point being that if you focus on that kind of thing and that becomes the entire way that you see the city, sure, yeah, it's fucking trashy. But I know that I've never been to Los Angeles, but I'm pretty confident that it's a similar dynamic in that you can see some of everything if you look hard enough. But overall, Portland's a fucking fantastic city.
Yeah. LA is like a collection of a bunch of little cities surrounding some mountain ranges. They're all incorporated into one big city. And I live in a part of the Los Angeles that has been described as the Bronx of Los Angeles because of its multicultural character and so forth.
But I was going to say, depending on which character you're talking about, could be, you know, different things. But yeah.
Yeah. And like any big city, there are parts of town you don't want to go to after dark. But, you know, I've been to small towns and grew up in a small town where that was the entire town. You don't want to go out after dark.
Yeah.
Especially if you are not white, because you might not come home. But what they're doing there is gesturing, like I said, to the urban blight myth that cities are like this inherently dangerous place full of shady brown people, when the murder rate here is the lowest it's ever been. Same with New York City, at least last I checked. And the murder rates in small town America are higher than they have ever been. There's small towns in rural America who have murder rates per capita higher than Los Angeles had at its worst in the 90s. So it's just coded racism is all that was.
Yep. Lame.
Excrement on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hollywood is a horrible place to be right now.
It's the Walking Dead downtown.
Yeah.
It seriously is.
Yeah. And the reality is,
we were there just like,
And
that's a lie.
Well, also they're appealing. They're referring to people as zombies, which, you know, that Musk has been doing pretty specifically on X lately regarding Spain. I don't think that's coincidence. I mean, It's not like they're coordinating, but I mean the right in general will definitely just very quickly appeal to the concept of a zombie horde when it comes to dehumanizing entire swaths of people.
Yeah, they were talking about downtown Los Angeles right there. And that's just a fucking lie. Downtown Los Angeles is one of the whitest places I have ever seen. And I think they saw some brown people or maybe like a homeless guy in an alleyway and they freaked out. That's what happened to these guys. They're such pussies. They can't take any like poverty being around them somewhere.
Lame.
Man, I thought Scotland was bad.
And the reality is you can take meetings on Zoom. You could be anywhere. And also, what we find out here at Film Threat is that every major city is starting to build its own kind of film community. Most of the time, it's just indie filmmakers who just want to get together. They'll share camera equipment. They'll share lighting. You know, there's a community that wants to make movies and are making movies. And I would say stay home, join these groups, make movies with them. And the last thing I'll say is, again, look.
Chris Gore is 60 years old.
Okay.
I didn't realize. I thought he was younger than that, I suppose. I knew he was an older fellow, but older than me, but he looks like he's looked like a white-haired for a long time at this point, it seems like. And so I just kind of didn't include that in my analysis of how old he might look. And so, yeah, I guess I would have pictured him maybe 50, 55, something, but like 60, explicitly 60 is, he's old, man. Hopefully he doesn't have any more strokes. All right. Sorry about that.
Look at the movies that have touched you, the ones that you watch over and over again, the ones that make you cry and feel emotion, whether it's sadness, happiness, or being scared. Watch those and ask yourself, why does that movie touch me the way it does?
I hate whenever they actually appeal to something sincere and genuine in order to do this shit. You know what I mean? It actually frustrates me that yeah. But what I was going to say is, if you want to talk about the what they're encouraging to say, don't even go to Hollywood. You can do Zoom meetings. You do it all by yourself. You do it on the internet. Just, you fucking figure it out. Do it. What they're essentially saying is, who all here has watched the show Best of the Worst on Red Letter Media?
I have not ever watched it.
Never?
No, never. I'm not a big fan of Red Letter Media. Very little of what I've seen from them actually appeals to me. So I just don't watch it.
I can understand that. There's a lot of it that actually actively pisses me off. But the one thing I would say that they do great, that is a staple in my YouTube consumption, is the Best of the Worst. That's where they choose, sometimes randomly, sometimes through a game or whatever, some movies, and sometimes that can be a very the word movies doing a lot of heavy lifting in some of these cases. So like one time they had like a police instructional video on how to deal with edged weapons as one of the things they watched. Which turned out to be pretty fucking cool, actually. And had better staged action sequences than a lot of other stuff they end up watching. And then, others will be like just these, who Neil Breen is.
Yes.
So that's how I discovered Neil Breen, was through Best of the Worst, because they were watching a Neil Breen movie. And it's like, holy shit. And there's this in fact, I have a video that is about this. Me and Perp talking about Critical Drinker, and how we realized in discussing Drinker that he's one of these guys that belongs to the category that we decided is called what is it, like middle-aged men in black tank tops decide to do an art project kind of thing. And that's what Neil Breen is. There's just like there's several of these filmmakers that quote unquote filmmakers that they watch their movies on that show, that is just some older guy that you can tell got some money together, or maybe had some money. It was like, I'm gonna be an action hero in a movie just like the heroes I like. And he fucking at some point or the entire time is wearing a black tank top. He's an expert in everything. He knows how to do everything. He's super cool all the time. And he's gonna get the babe and he's gonna win the day. You know what I mean? And yet everything is done completely incompetently. Like the entire top to bottom production of the film is fucking completely incompetent, because this guy has done it mostly by himself. And
for those who don't know, Neil Breen is a filmmaker that makes the guy that made The Room look like Spielberg.
Yeah.
Whose name just escaped me. I had it when I began that sentence. I remembered his name. Tommy Wiseau. Yes, Neil Breen makes Tommy Wiseau look like Steven Spielberg.
That's true. But I'm just saying like that's the kind of creation that he's encouraging there by people just staying insular, not trying to connect with others in the industry of Hollywood itself. Just like, I mean, that's not to say that there's no value in what he's saying. Yes, you should get, wherever you are locally, if that's the best you can, that's all you can do. You should absolutely, find what your options are there.
But keep in mind that this is coming after they just spent almost an hour going through racist dog whistles and telling people that what appeals to them about these films is its whiteness and its nationalism. So he's giving them advice to lean into that more or less.
Yeah,
that's going to be the message most of them take home. Is go make white Christian movies.
It's setting them up for failure, so that they can become bitter fucking actors on the right wing, just like they are.
Yeah. I mean, some of them might have talent. Undoubtedly, sure. In a room that big, somebody's got to have talent.
But if you send them out, even if they have talent, and then they go out into the world and they're trying to operate based on the stuff that these guys are fucking shoving in their brains, they're not going to have a great time. They're not going to get a lot of, make a lot of inroads. They're not going to get much done.
Yeah.
People are going to be able to being hateful shitheads or whatever.
If I was in their chair, the advice I would give them is, on top of what he just said, I would say also, if you're a conservative, which most of these kids in this audience are, let go of the idea. What?
I was just saying, I said, stop being that. If you're a conservative, don't be that anymore.
No, that's not what I would say. I would say, if I was a conservative sitting on this stage saying this to other conservative kids, I would say, let go of the idea that conservatives cannot thrive in Hollywood, because they can and they do. Yeah. There are conservatives all over the place. Some of them are filmmakers. Some of them are good filmmakers. And so much of these guys' grift is premised on the notion that they didn't make it in Hollywood because of their political beliefs, when the reality is they didn't make it because they don't have any talent, or they're not talented enough to make it in the Hollywood system. Like Ben Shapiro or Jeremy Boring, who started the Daily Wire because they couldn't cut it in Hollywood. Ben Shapiro comes from a Hollywood family.
Yep.
And his screenplay was dog shit, and he couldn't, rather than grow and try to get better at it, he was convinced he was a genius, an unrecognized genius, and he went off and started the Daily Wire as a personal grievance.
100%.
And their grievance is wrong. They didn't fail because they're conservatives. They failed because they're not good at what they wanted to do.
Yeah. And yeah, 100%. In fact, I have some content about this very subject. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up here. We're not going to finish this tonight. Maybe we'll do it another time, but I doubt they say much more worth hearing. I don't know.
So getting to, I'm going to watch the rest of it offline or off the stream, because they're getting to a Q&A section apparently. So maybe the audience will give us some zingers.
Well, I will have to, you know what? I'm going to go check with my family and see if I'm needed for anything real quick, because they're doing stuff in the kitchen. I don't want to feel like I'm, leaving them hanging. So I'm going to play a video and we'll take a break and come back. And
okay.
So
Eric's back. Maybe he can join us.
Who? Eric's back?
Eric is back in chat. Maybe he can join us when we come back.
That'd be cool. So, okay, apparently I'm sharing too many videos already. God damn it.
Well, let's take this one off the screen.
Well, I mean, I just got to take some out of the deck below, which is fine. I just didn't notice that I had not noticed that. Here we go. So, speaking to kind of the left and right divide in a more I guess stark and kind of too real context here. Here's a clip from interview that Andrew Callahan did with I forget her name, but she's a journalist. She's a leftist journalist, and here's what she says about this subject, which yeah, honestly, I agree. Where the hell is that? Oh yeah.
The left should absolutely arm itself.
How are we going to do that?
Get your guns. And actually, this is what I keep saying to all my trans homies. My trans homies, gay homies, like, they're coming for your guns first. Literally, they're trying to do that. So we must arm ourselves. And if you're a trans homie in a state that you can't get a gun, we can figure it out. We got this.
Or if you're a straight white homie with some crazy ideas, get yourself a big ass gun or a small one. But remember, gun
and
safety.
Give them to your trans homies.
Give them to them. And gun safety first for everybody out there watching.
Absolutely.
How important is gun safety when you're learning to use them?
Super important. I mean, you know, I'm from New York. I didn't handle guns a lot. I didn't have a gun in my home. I didn't learn about guns until I was older. And now having a gun in my home, it definitely was scary at first. It's scary to be around handguns and open a drawer and be like, oh my God. But yeah, practice safety. I put it in locks. I have a babysitter. I lock my gun up. Like, if you're going to be a gun owner, be smart. You have to be.
Yes, I mean, I don't know that it is very broad advice there that obviously, depending on the person, is not necessarily going to work for everybody. But also, I do question the point in a way. Like, I've got no problem with guns. I mean, I have a lot of respect for a gun. Not going to say whether I own one or not. I've probably said it before, but what is the purpose? If the point is like they're coming for you and you're trans or non, whatever it is, it's like, what is the idea there that like you shall not be taken alive?
I suppose so. It's something everyone have to decide for themselves.
Yeah.
It's been pointed out before, and I don't know how valid I would take this to be, but the rhetoric is that if every time the SS came to a Jewish family's door, one of them got shot in the face, maybe it would have slowed things down. But from a leftist perspective, it's just one element of community defense, right?
Yes, absolutely. That on a community level, it makes all the sense in the world. Their context, I can totally imagine. In fact, 2020, I think it was, when election stuff was going on. There's a lot of upheaval going on in general, and from outside of Portland, out in the woods over here in Oregon, where there's some chuds, they kind of decided we're gonna roam into the city tonight, and we're gonna drive our trucks up and down the city, and we're gonna fucking make a bunch of noise and start some fights and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And I could totally imagine at that point, I was like, this is the exact kind of thing that if it were to escalate from this point, would be great to have a community organized, defense for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's the actual scenario that marginalized people have to watch out for. It's not that the state is going to, well, maybe now, I mean, the ICE is doing this, but
it's
most
the
of
roaming bands of chuds.
Yeah, the roaming bands of militias, right? And this is what I get frustrated talking about gun control with liberals and leftists, because they seem to, whatever you think of the policies themselves, the discussion, they seem to lose their perspective on how systemic racism and homophobia and transphobia are with all other laws. Like, they understand that all other laws are applied to marginalized communities disproportionately. But when it comes to guns, they seem to think that if we pass like really strict gun control, it's going to take guns out of the hands of all the white racists.
That's so insane. Like, no, the only thing we should pass gun reform, but that's just to mitigate harm a little bit, is the only thing it could do. Is potentially stop some percentage of the fucking, children's bodies being riddled by fucking assault rifle bullets. But yeah, it's not going to solve the problem. This is a situation. We have guns, lots and lots of guns, way too many guns. There's nothing that's going to change that anytime soon, short of some type of fucking wizard comes down from hell and whatever, and he's like, oh, no more guns, like Scarlet Witch's guns away. I don't know what else. That's about it.
Yeah, that's my main gripe, is like, especially when talking to people from outside the United States, that they don't understand the context of, it's not like guns in Britain or France or Australia, where they're not saturated. The society is not saturated with them. There are more guns in America than there are people. There are so many guns in circulation in America that if you set up a government program or any other program that confiscated one gun from every gun owner for every hour of every day, nonstop, it would take 500 years to collect every gun. So that's how many guns there are. So there's no policy that's being proposed from the left or from liberals that does anything to undo that.
And the
We
fact
have
that
to
the
get more
right is
creative
so
about it.
successful at fucking causing the chuds to shit and piss themselves all the time just by insinuating that the left is, or the Democrats are gonna do something about the guns. It's insane. That's really probably the first place that I noticed the insane divide in reality when it comes to left and right years ago. You know what I mean? It was like realizing that oh wait, they think that by saying, you know, we should maybe have background checks here, and it's like, what? They're trying to take our guns. And it's like, wait, what? You know, it's this.
Well, it's both sides. Like, so the right will have that reaction, and then the people on the, I don't want to say the left, but the liberals, the standard American liberal thinks, or it seems to think, that passing background checks is going to remove all of the guns currently in circulation from circulation.
Here's why I would say that passing background checks would be a great thing, just to show that it is possible for us to start to push back a little bit at the fucking insanity. That would be where the biggest.
Oh, I'm in favor of every gun control proposal I've ever heard. They're all completely reasonable to me, but they don't do anything to address the fact that there are an estimated 500 million guns already in circulation, and those guns are not going anywhere. So pass all the background checks and all the gun control you want. It's at this point, it's probably not going to reduce gun violence very much.
Well, I mean, look, we honor the man who took one to the neck for us. We honor him and what he said, which is, you know, hey, some motherfuckers got to die. And then look, he lived it. Well, died it.
Yeah. And the other thing that doesn't get talked about is that, like, this statistic that's on screen right now is the guns are not evenly distributed among the entire population. They are concentrated around centers of white power. Most gun owners, most hordes of guns in the United States are in the hands of white conservative, self-identified anyway, white conservative, Christian nationalist men who are members of militias or have some other kind of like police or military background. That's who owns most of the guns. They're mostly in the hands of right wingers.
Well, this is why I don't know what you were saying, because I was talking to Jen for a minute. I apologize, but this is why the left online, the online left, and I use that to specify, you know, the very specific, hyper specific, hyphenated labels in their, you know, flags and stuff. Those people, that think that just, you know, letting accelerationist types, right?
Mm-hmm.
That think that if we just push society over the brink, essentially, hey, look, then we can really grab society by the horns and take charge. Yeah, who's going to do that? The people with the most guns. Who is that? You know. Meanwhile, while you're fucking failing at this fucking fantasy that you're wanting to subject everybody to, while you're failing, many people will die. The most marginalized people will fucking die. Like most of them will just be gone.
Yeah, gun control laws. So that's a good point. That's separate from what I'm about to say, though.
I know. I was just
gun control laws will be applied disproportionately against marginalized communities, just like all other laws are. So unless we address that problem at the same time, all you're going to be doing is further weakening the most oppressed people in our society and keeping most of the guns in the hands of their oppressors. Like, the police are not going to be disarmed by gun control laws. ICE is not going to be disarmed by gun control laws. Militias are not going to be disarmed by this. The state will come after Black people, trans people, etc., who they know have guns.
My gun advocacy is basically this. You know, if you've ever seen Tom Morello's guitar, yeah.
I prefer the guns I have on my arms. Thank you very much.
Ew. Gun show. Here's a video. I'm going to play this video while I go to the bathroom, and it is about conservatism. This is from a conversation we had on the showcast prior to the election. Turf Nation's in it. It's a pretty old one. But I think it's
just to be clear, are we coming back to finish the critical drinker video?
Yes, as long as we can focus on getting it done. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the thing to keep in mind is that MAGA it's taken over most of the Republican Party, and obviously most conservatives would probably consider themselves MAGA, but it's not all. and MAGA
Right.
is
No.
MAGA is the issue. You know, there are people who identify as conservative and identify as Republican who are not MAGA.
Yeah,
I would go so far as to say that like conservatism is the issue, because if conservatism has allowed MAGA to do this, like conservatism was the fucking, you know, the failing ideology that allowed MAGA to kind of like co-opt it and stick its fucking tendrils in and go, all right, we're conservatism now.
Yeah, I mean, like
you said it on
I
the
guess
stream.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out now. He said me, so like I'm trying to understand. You said what? You said that you asked if all conservatives are bad, and you asked if how come they all ain't. Right? Is that what you're saying? I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, like I guess conservatism in general is something that I disagree a lot with, and like because obviously it's not my political direction. I guess a big problem, especially in America right now, is that the conservatives in power are fucking lunatics. You know, like MAGA is the main branch of conservatism in America. It's what has power. It's with only two parties, the one being Democrats, the other being Republicans. It's like, and then the Republican Party being made up of mainly Trump supporters and people who are just fucking insane. The people who I guess, you know, you'd call like a more modest conservative or someone who's a bit more sane, you know, kind of gets lost in it. And obviously blame can also be put on the many people who are voting for Trump and voting for these people, right? And that is a problem, but it's also like some people just believe generally in conservative values, and when the party that's kind of in support of that is just really fucking extreme, it's kind of
if we're gonna be real about it, I don't think this is really about this is just happens to be the ideology that I think makes the most sense. I think that this comes from at the fucking ground level, foundational level of whether a person is someone who is the combination of several things. I think, like, are you someone who is self-aware? You're able to understand, you know, your own like your own thought processes and how that the things that you say and do affect other people. Do you understand systemic effects, or do you think things happen in isolation? Do you understand patterns, or do you think things happen in isolation? You know, like those kind of all stack up to decide to usually will, you know, be like someone's a conservative or a more liberal or progressive minded person if you are you know, more. And so it has to do, I think, with how people are raised and like our emotional development as well as our education, you know, these things that just kind of make up a person. And I don't think that conservatism being the one that's so, I mean, I do think that conservatism being the one that's so susceptible to conspiracy-minded bullshit and to hatred and violence, because say what you want about fucking Antifa or whatever, but you can look at the statistics. Conservatism, white nationalism has been the fucking, you know, leading cause of domestic violence, terrorism in the last 20 years. And so, like, I think that one of these things obviously is objectively flawed and like should not be it shouldn't exist. You know, I'm not saying that conservatives need to not exist. I'm saying that we need to get to a point where we can find a way to get people to engage with ideas better and to fucking raise their kids better and you know, break cycles and shit like that. I don't know.
You know, it doesn't feel like that long ago when, like, you know, anti-vax was like a fringe left conspiracy theory.
And I'm back just in time. Hey.
I never left.
How was that? Was that I only listened to a little bit of it like the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I think this is a pretty good clip.
Oddly prescient.
I was excited about turf. That's what it is. I just got really, really hard. I mean, excited for his voice. All right. Let's see here.
All right, let's focus.
What is it in the story, the way it's shot? Figure that out and then replicate that.
I'm just going to add this for you, Drinker, because
the most
we're
fucking
talking about
vague fucking platitude bullshit advice. I hate it. I hate that shit. All right.
Movies and films, and I think the immediate assumption is that that means a movie theater. But YouTube and other streaming platforms right now are great place. I mean, there's 1 billion people on YouTube at any given time. It's a great place to actually try to produce content for. You would know.
Yeah, just like social media, YouTube is now the marketplace of not just ideas, but products. And in this case, your product is your movie. You've got the opportunity to put that out there, and you've got the world as your stage. It's a super...
Yeah, how has that gone for you so far, Will? You've put out a couple of movies on YouTube. Did those, they did pretty well? People like them? A lot of people watch them? No? Yeah. The fact, just that fact that nobody gives a shit, you know, like when in terms of metrics, comparatively, like from the movies and stuff or whatever he's been part of for short films versus his content, it just shows right there that these people don't give a fuck about art or media or anything original, because here he is theoretically presenting them with the thing that he has been advocating for by default, by advocating against the stuff that he's shit on this all this time, right, on YouTube. So in his movies, his products should be a collection of, just like Mahler, it should be a collection of all of the good ways to do this, right? And then and you should be really excited about that. His audience should be fucking thrilled if this was some kind of logical thing where they were actually leading with their film fandom as the reason they get into this shit, but they're not.
Yeah, one of the main thing that makes his movies and Mahler's movie terrible is them. It's the reputation they built up for themselves before making a movie. That they were just like some unknowns starting out. Rogue Elements or whatever Mahler's movie was called would be considered pretty good first effors.
I'd be more inclined to give them some grace.
Yeah.
It's hard.
People give them
really
more
hard
grace.
to, like I mean, it's really hard to even trying. If I was conscious, which I was during, especially the last one, trying to see it, you know, at least in a neutral context, and I would start to see it that way, and then some line of dialogue or some moment would happen, and I'm just like, really, dude. Like, you fucking say this shit is, yeah. It's impossible to have any kind of like, you know, neutral grace with them and their products.
Yeah, that's what makes it garbage, right? It's not the final product itself. Like Rogue Elements would be considered a pretty good student film, like a good first effort,
sure,
or something, you know.
I had a friend years ago that was in film school. Worked on a couple of projects with him. If he came and showed me Rogue Elements was the thing he made, I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like, great.
Yeah.
This has a lot of potential for your career in the future. You know, because you're a film student right now and you're actually learning your craft. If you're just some guy who sits in his fucking apartment and bitches about movies all the time, I would think that this is kind of shitty.
Not just bitches about movies. You set yourself up as an expert on filmmaking and storytelling who's so much smarter than all of Hollywood that you can tear down and nitpick every little thing they do. I guarantee you that Critical Drinker is right now trying to get Hollywood producers to look at his work on Rogue Elements and failing because they or their assistants go to his YouTube channel and see him talking shit about stuff that they worked on.
Absolutely.
And being a total asshole.
So I have not got into this, but I have found a reason to believe that that essentially these guys are iced out of any official channels in and around Hollywood. That like there's an awareness of them, and that just it seems obvious when you think about it. Like, of course there is. They've been around long enough, doing this long enough, going viral now and then long enough that somebody, you know, somebody's kid or whatever told their dad, who's a producer, have you seen these fucking guys? And that guy's like called his people, have you seen these motherfuckers? You know, just fucking, and that just, they're iced out. There's no way that they can ever fucking make a inroad into Hollywood. And yeah, fucking pieces of shit. Yeah, you know what? They're still dwindling, not doing so well. Drinker, it's crazy to think that he was growing at such a rate that he went from like 1 million subs to 2 million within like a year, I think.
Yeah.
And then he's still like at what, 2.4 million now. That is pretty notable as a not a drop off in like total numbers, no, but like from growing like a fucking weed to just nope, nothing. Which means that it indicates that he has reached his look, hey, I'm an 8,000 subscriber guy when it comes to this. Okay, I hit 8,000 subscribers and fucking YouTube said nope, you're done. But so I can admit it though. I also admit my fault in that. But yeah, he can't grow anymore. He's maxed out he's saturated the market. Everybody is more or less aware of who he is, and you either think he's a fucking gross, weird piece of shit that is a grifter, or you are a weird, gross piece of shit.
And it's going to be rough going for them because their bread and butter is Marvel and Star Wars. And at least on the Marvel side, for the rest of the year, things are going to be gangbusters for Marvel, I think.
I thought about something the other day, and this is just, you can tell me if you think this is true, actually, but I feel like this is just a fundamental truism. The day that nobody's talking about Marvel at all anymore, good or bad, is the day Marvel's done.
Yeah.
Basically, like that is still sustaining this sub-industry, that it is divorced from whether anybody thinks it's good or bad. If you talk about it enough and you make consistent content and you play to the algorithm at the right moments, put out enough content, to some level, you're going to see some success with this shit. And that speaks to it. It's like only on the day that these guys and others are, even pro Marvel people are putting videos out about it like they normally do, and then suddenly just nobody's watching those videos or whatever, then it'll be done. But like it's so fucking obvious when you really think about it that it's frustrating to try to convey it to somebody that is just stuck in this loop, is stuck in this content silo, because like, dude, the only reason they're talking about it is because lots of people care and like it. You know what I mean? Lots of people want it to be good and whatnot. So,
but they're not going to be able to talk about how Marvel sucks, at least for the rest of the year, because Spider-Man, everybody loves the new Spider-Man movie. It's incredibly successful. They're going to re-release Avengers and Endgame and call it Endgame. I forget, Endgame Encore. They're adding new footage to that to set up Doomsday. So they're going to go from Spider-Man Brand New Day to re-releasing Avengers Endgame with new footage to Doomsday, which is already tracking to be huge. The tickets are already selling out. And then Secret Wars, which will probably be just as big or at least huge. And their whole business model relies on people being dissatisfied with these things. And they're usually either able to highlight a bad Rotten Tomatoes score for a movie or a bad financial performance, or both, if that happens. But they're facing a reality now where neither of those things is going to be available to them.
Nada. Yep.
And a channel as big as his will be fine for a while. He can coast for a year or two probably, but the smaller ones are all going to die off.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead and hit play.
Superb leveler, and it's a superb opportunity for independent filmmakers. So it's a great place to start.
And real fast before we get to question, would you agree that with my original premise, which in terms of politics, which is in terms of policy and what people in this town are talking about when it comes time to legislate, a lot of times people's minds are already convinced based on the films or shows that they're watching. Do you agree, or am I overstating it?
It's a more complex relationship because, when you were saying there that politics is downstream of culture, movies and culture, entertainment and culture, they're in a kind of cyclical relationship where movies both reflect culture and begin to direct it in different ways. And so that's what Hollywood used to do very well. They could, one, give people things that they were already excited about and reflect it back to them. Sometimes you would get like a game-changing new movie that would begin to direct popular culture in a new direction. The thing that's changed, obviously, in recent years is that Hollywood seems to be actively fighting against culture, which is why they're losing so much money.
Yeah.
What?
Anything else?
What?
That's complete fucking gobbledygook, man. Jesus Christ.
This was a year ago.
Sure. So you think he's got better ideas now that he would say?
No, but what he just said is more was more plausible a year ago than it is now, because Hollywood was not doing as great then as they are now. I mean, last year we had like the writers' strike. They were coming out of that, and they were coming out of the Directors Guild strike, and they're still dealing with the repercussions of COVID, which is still affecting the industry financially. But this year, they're doing the best they've done since 2019.
Yeah.
So
wow.
He's just wrong about why the industry was losing money at the time. It has nothing. I won't say it has nothing, but it has virtually nothing to do with their cultural messaging. It's other economic factors that they are out of their control that were impacting them.
150%.
I would add for your films, cast is important. A lot of people in Hollywood are not working right now, actors. You can hire SAG actors. Go to sagindy.com, and they'll tell you there's contracts there for low-budget productions. That will help. And I think production value is cast and location. A lot of great locations in America you can shoot. Production is dead in California right now.
Yeah.
It's going to places like Kentucky and Georgia and Alabama. Find somewhere unique to shoot and hire SAG actors. There's a lot that are not working. They'll be willing to work with you.
Chris Coronowing, filmthreat.com, and of course, Will Jordan, Critical Drinker. They are available now for your questions, but let's hear it for the panel.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, that's quite a lineup.
If there's more, I think we got to call it. I think I go. We can cover the other bit of it another time. We can do their Q&A, make some more content out of it. Because I'm just like I'm done. Like my after a certain amount of listening to this bullshit, my brain goes to active resistance, self-protection mode. And I'm just like, no, fuck you. I get like angry. Yeah. Here's a thumbnail for a video that the other guys in the initiative they didn't want to let me use this. I'm gonna show it. I made this thumbnail for our video that me and Turf and other Bob made about Critical Drinker, and I thought it was pretty cool. And they were like, "No, no, don't want to use that." I don't get it. What was the big deal? What's wrong with that? It's not like we have laser eyes.
How long ago did you make this? Because the laser eyes meme was might have been oversaturated in the culture by this point. I don't know how long ago this was.
It's 2 years ago or so now.
Oh, okay. So that would have been fine. Yeah, it was the hot thing to do back then.
I mean, it was the hot thing to do for a long time, yeah. But I mean, I think that maybe they said something about the blood kind of being a problem. I'm like, what are you, fucking the goddamn ratings board? You know, get out of here. What's your bullshit? No. 3 evil Supermen? No, 3 righteous regular men.
3 righteous Kryptonians.
Hogs dangling between our legs, you know? Anyways, Bob's doing stuff. You got some new video up, I saw. I haven't finished it, but let's watch some of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Rings of Power one. Yes. And it's doing pretty good in the algorithm.
Yeah.
And
I saw that.
Yeah. It's a
lot of happy people in the comment section. Very happy customers.
Yes. I'm getting a lot of opportunities to say, hey, thanks for commenting and boosting this video in the algorithm, and then watching them melt down.
Yeah. They love it. They hate it, but they love it. It is fun. Evil Superman. Get the fuck out of here, Grand Theft Auto Pod. Jesus Christ. It's not evil if you're fucking killing the bad guy. Come on. What's evil about that? That was a joke, by the way.
Yeah.
Me personally, I got some stuff coming up. You'll see. It's gonna happen. As of right now, though, I kind of just need to go take a shit. So,
thanks for sharing.
I mean, I didn't know what else to say. I'm sorry. So, you know, there's been times whenever I'm like at a party or with some friends, and I'm just like try to think of some excuse that will actually get me out the door in the amount of time that I need to, you know what I mean? And really, I just need to take a shit. It's like, so I've just kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, just say that. I'm just going to say that. You know, I'm some age years old. What do I got to fucking? Who am I trying to impress?
I mean, it's a legit reason that anyone can relate to.
So I'm saying, like, what do I pretend like I don't take shits or something? Come on, I do. With the best.
And what kind of asshole would say no? You can't go take a shit right now.
Teacher in fucking 4th grade. But that's trauma I'll talk to my therapist about. Anyway, you know what? You're awesome. You guys are great. And I also have, by the way, music to listen to for free, essentially, on whatever platform. I think on Major, and then several that I have no idea that existed until now. So basically, wherever you might listen to music, you can find my music starting to populate there. Got 2 tracks so far. Those are demos. I'm going to work on those same songs again whenever it comes time to like do a full album release eventually. But as of now, they're demo versions.
And MySpace might be coming back, so you can post all your music there.
My fucking time to shine. Holy shit, that's awesome! I can't believe it. Oh, things are looking up. And on that note, I've got here's a video with some lyrics that I'm going to play out the door of a song of mine. Hope you guys have a lovely weekend, and I don't know if we'll see you on Sunday or what we might do. Still, you know, just to keep you updated. Pretty close to needing to move. We do still appreciate donations. Our GoFundMe is still up. That's linked in the description and QR on the screen. If you can help out, it's great. Appreciate it. If you can just share it, that's also appreciated. But I think we're probably going to be able to make it okay. Be able to move without it being a complete, you know, catastrophe of financial proportions. And so, yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, things come up, but it's pretty tight. We don't know exactly how much the moving itself is going to cost, which is a big deal. So we got a lot of stuff and not a lot of people to carry it. Anyways, been trying to stall while I find this goddamn video, and I can't. Here it is. I found it now. Peace out.
Peace.
Back in the day, I'd isolate, hide from the falling skies and wait, slip into an altered state. But I learned the hardest way that there's no escape, and I can't bring myself to turn away. And renegades never arrive. And what if the heroes we waited for all this time take a dive? Oh, just a day ending in why? Just another doomsday gone by. Can I rest assured when the tension oceans rise? How can we come together when we're choosing different sides? How can we even begin to heal when the cynics are bleeding us dry? Divided we stand against the sinister design. What if the rebels and renegades never arrive? And what if the heroes we waited for all this time take a dive? Oh, just a day to say that I wish I could close my eyes and mind and heart for good. I'm ashamed to say that I wish I could close my eyes and mind and heart for good. What if the rebels and renegades were here the whole time? What if the heroes we waited for were you and I? Oh, just another day ending in why? Just another doomsday gone by. We're still alive. Still alive. And that concludes our existence.
I've got a squad